Now, today, we are gonna see, what if Naruto and Goku had harem with Bulma? Join Patreon for early ACESS of Super Op stories, also adult and steamy Harry Potter stories too. Please subscribe this channel, because definitely I will try my best to provide a valuable content for you all. Also check the description to support the original author for this beautiful creation. At that time I was living alone. I had not parents or family apart from the memories of my grandpa. Gohan, I did what you did when we met. Collect wood, fish for food, and basically survive out in the wild. My living space was a small hut like the one I live in now. I was just coming back from collecting food and I was hit by a car. It's a more advanced version of a horse and cart. So more like a cart that could move on its own. Cool. Anyway, at that time, I had no other interaction with people. So seeing a car and a woman, I saw them as a threat. She was able to convince me she was no threat and I showed her my place. It turned out she was after an item called a Dragon Ball. They are 7 small orbs and when gathered together can grant you any one wish. Quote ellipsis dot. I didn't know dragons had 7 balls. Sigh. Not those kind of balls. These are made of glass and had a number of stars on them. Mine had 4 on them. Anyway, after seeing how I was about to destroy her car, and live after she shot me, a more advanced version of crossbow or something like that. Oh, she asked me to come along. Mainly she wanted that for her own protection. But she also needed the Dragon Ball, which was the main reason. Seeing as even though she was a girl, I wasn't giving it to her. It was my grandpa's after all. So we traveled. We met an old turtle hermit known as the Kame-san. He had a Dragon Ball for Bulma. And I got a cloud that I could fly on from him. How did you get them? Well, Bulma sort of. You're too young to know. Anyway, we left there and met a humanoid pig named Oolong, who could transform into anything he wished, but still had the same strength as normal. He used this power to get girls from a village. So it's like a henge. Yes, but his power had a time limit. Anyway, I beat him and he was forced after Bulma gave him so food that did something when she made a noise. To come with us. We also at the time collected another Dragon Ball. How many you have to begin with? Bulma had 2, then mine. Then came San and finally the village. That made 5. Anyway, as we traveled into the desert we came across a bandit named Yamcha. After a quick encounter he ran off for some reason. Anyway, our next location is a mountain on fire on Fry Pan Mountain. Well, we encountered the lord who owned it named Gyu Mao. After he found out we knew Kame Sen and he asked me to go find him to put out the fire. And to find his daughter named Chi-Chi on the way there. Anyway, I found her and after asking around, we reached the island. What did Kame Sen look like? He was a short, bold-headed man with a long white beard. Wore big black, red-framed glasses and wore a beach shirt with white shorts. He carried a turtle shell on his back. Anyway, with a bloody encounter, me, Chi-Chi and as I found out then, Mutant Roshi, headed back to the mountain for our 6th Dragon Ball, which was in the mountain I forgot to mention. Anyway, Bulma convinced Roshi to help and he preformed his technique. After having lost the item he would have originally used, the Kamehameha, he destroyed the mountain of course by overdoing it. But the Dragon Ball was safe. And I learned the Kamehameha that day. As we traveled we encountered a town in terror of a large bunny man who could turn people into carrots. Well, we encountered him of course. He turned Bulma into a carrot. Me and surprisingly Yamcha, who had been following us, battled the rabbit and his men. And got him to turn Bulma back. And with one last task, I took the rabbit and his men to a place like in an old story. The Rabbit in the Moon. Oji-san. Anyway, we move on to the final Dragon Ball. Yamcha had taken off again after Bulma was returned to normal. So we had no idea where he went. Was it just Yamcha? Oh yeah, that's right. There was a floating cat named Cooler. He too had the power to transform. Now as we get back to my tale. As we were getting close to the Dragon Ball, the car was wherein blew up. And a large machine jumped down and took the balls. They gave me the slip and when Bulma thought all was lost, she finds out I had 1 left. My 4-star. Anyway, at that moment, Yamcha shows up again. And how many more times will this happen? This is the last time of his vanishing tricks at this point. Anyway, we tracked the balls down to a castle, which we soon found ourselves trapped in a room. After a small amount of time, the man named Pilaf shows up on screen and asks we hand over the ball. Anyway, they tried to see if it was on Bulma with very little luck and then used sleeping gas. Weird guy, I guess he was, but he got all the balls together and summoned the dragon. What happens when he does? Well, the sky turns completely black. Even in the day, the 7 balls glow and let out a long stream of light. This light twists and turns, forming a large green, light brown underbellied dragon with red eyes. Well, at this time Oolong and Kur were racing to make a different wish. Why? Pilaf wanted to rule the world, I think. Anyway, Oolong thought quick when he saw the dragon. And he called the first thing that came to his head. Something he's been after, and that is panties. Thud. I know, not the first thing you would think of, I guess. Anyway, after that we were all locked up again and in a stronger room. They were going to kill us by letting the sun roast us in the room. But we had something we didn't know was going to save us. It was still night, and the moon was out. Back then, I heard from my grandpa that a monster comes out at the full moon. So I always went to bed early to be safe. But turns out it was for another reason. What? I won't go much into detail seeing as I didn't know at the time. Oh, I also forgot to mention. Unlike anyone else alive, I had a tail, like a monkey. Yes. Anyway, we talked and I looked to the moon. After that I remember nothing but waking up the next morning not knowing what happened. My tail was go. Nay, and I was in nothing but my birthday suit. That's embarrassing. I didn't know any better at the time. So I saw nothing wrong with it. Anyway, my balance was off for a while but I recovered from that. Now with the Dragon Balls used, they turned to stone for 1 whole year. I went to train with Mutant Roshi. While Bulma, Yamcha, Kur and Oolong took off to where Bulma lived. Wait, what was Bulma's wish? Oh, she wanted a boyfriend. And Yamcha? I can't be 100% sure. But I think he wanted to not have a fear of cute girls. Sort of a match then. And I'm surprised for someone your age. You can remember all this. You pick up things from time to time. Anyway, I went to Roshi's to train under him. So I was given Bulma's radar for the future. And got some clothes from home. Then with my staff the Naibo, I took off to Roshi's. I found him relaxing by the TV when I got there. Anyway, I got him to train me. But I had to convince him first. I had to bring him a girl. Sounds like a pervert this Senine. A little. Well, I collected a few girls, but none fitted his wants. I was about leave again, when another boy older than me by a year showed up to train as well. His name was Kuririn, and he comes by best friend in the future. We met a girl named Launch. She had this strange power that she went from nice girl to bandit with a gun at the second she sneezes. Well, with her with us we began to training. The training was harder than what I gave you. And we did this for 8 months. For the Tenkaichi Budokai, we entered the Tenkaichi Budokai and met Yamcha there who was going to fight. What's the Tenkaichi Budokai? The strongest under the Heavens Martial Arts Tournament. Along with me and Kuririn, there were 135 masters of different styles there. So there were qualifiers to enter the top 8. What did Kuririn look like? He was my short, shaven-headed, but I thought he was bold. Had no nose, and had 6 dots on his head. Strange. Looks who's talking whiskers. Now, we beat every foe and were amazed at the training we gained from Kameson 9. If I could have, I would have given you the same treatment. But because the lack of many things, your training gave you less results. Oh, now, it was around the final small matches that I met Yamcha again. It wasn't until he showed me his fighting style he used on me known as the Roga Fufuken. The Wolf Fang Fist, that I didn't recognize him. How come? He had a haircut. So as I was saying, we reached out position and found out who and when we were fighting. First match was Kuririn versus a man known as Bacterian. A man with a stench so strong. He wouldn't even last a fight with him. But Kuririn was in luck. He had no nose. But he didn't realize this till near the end. It being more mentally thinking the smell. And once he remembered that he attacked and won. Next was Yamcha versus an old man called Jackie Chun. Yamcha put up a good fight but lost to the old master. The next pair was Nemu versus a woman named Ran Fuan. She had won by using her body as a distraction on the field. But Nemu won by his resolve to help his village out in the desert, which needed water badly. My fight was next. I was fighting Jiren, a sort of humanoid dinosaur. Dinosaur, no way. Aren't they like really old? Not as old as you think. He used this move which he was about to pull a gum from his mouth and turn it into a sticky trap, which hardened like rock. He got you that fast? No, he tried this after I put up a fight he couldn't win. Plus I couldn't out of bounds him because he could fly. Now with me trapped he threw me out the ring. But with the help of the Quinto the flying cloud I got from the turtle sage, it saved me that one time. After that I wasn't allowed again. He attacked me and by a stroke of luck, my tail returned and I was able to grip his arm with it. With my tail back, I broke free of his gum and then turned to him. He gave up at that second. Wuss. Then we move on to Kuririn and Chun, putting a battle on so fast no one could see what had happened, with Chun in the lead. But in a turn of events Kuririn in favor as he kicked the old man out the ring. But it was not going to be that easy as the old man used the Kamehameha. So with Chun in the game again, the old man pulled a fast one with an after image. After image, like Bunshin no Jutsu, but this is done by speed alone, leaving an image of you behind. Cool. And double chopped Kuririn at the neck, and knocking him out. With that we had a break and Yamcha said Chun was Roshi, but with a pull to the hair showed it wasn't a wig. And so we moved on to the next round. Me and Nemu. I started straight off with the after image. Man, you learn quick. Hee hee. But Nemu saw past that and jumped out the way. And we battled it out. With a move I tried I was left with a dizzy feeling on the ground. Nemu took his chance and attacked with his best move, a double arm cross attack at my neck. I almost lost, but I made it at just before 10 was completely said. He took off again like before going higher. I followed and we crossed as he went down. Anyway I raced on, pasted him and reached the ground before he did. With a hop back I did a flying kick and hit my mark. Nemu was out of bounds. And after a short break, me and Chun battled, putting our best up front. And if it wasn't for the fact I could fly by spinning my tail, I'd have lost quickly. With that a fail, Chun went for the best he had, and I followed suit with the Kamehame. We tied and Chun was on edge at that point. He then went for the after image. I attacked his appearing form and he did it again and gave me a good kick. The move he used was the Naijuzanzoken, the double shadow attack, and I did the same, thinking I'd only do one, and I gave him a blow to the head. With that he moved on to his next style, the Sway Ken, phony drunk attack, which he pretended to be drunk and used that as an unpredictable fighting style. Only those who have been drunk can use this effectively. But I attacked with a move of my own, Kyo Ken, which I thought was Mad Fury attack, but was called Mad Dog attack. I got a bit funny from there and attacked him like a monkey. I guess I was a bit overconfident. Chun attacked with another technique. He made eye contact and put me into a trance and song Rock Baby Baby, which was effective. I would have been counted out if Bulma hadn't yelled dinner time. And I was back in the fight. You love your food. I little too much really. Now with me back in the fight, I went for a move I was taught by my grandpa, the Gen Ken. That's a game. It's also a fighting move. This is how it works. Rock is punch, paper is a palm strike and scissors is a double poke to the eyes. If that fails at one who uses it, do this. Bluff your strike. So instead of paper, rock them. Good advice. Chun once again on edge tried a last resort, the Bankokubakirasho. This move basically electrocutes me. He told me to call mercy. But I didn't. I was about to call mercy. Because if I didn't, In would have died. But at that moment, I saw the full moon. And blacked out. I awoke and we were back into our fight. Only to find out, I was again without clothing. But I still had my tail. So with a change into Kuririn's clothing I was back out and fighting. I was hungry at the time and when I'm hungry I don't perform well. Chun attacked with a Kamehameha, but was out of steam. I wasn't and attacked. He jumped and I kicked him. I thought I'd won with that. But he kicked a hole in the rock platform and saved himself. And we settled with one final attack. We rushed in and both kicked each other in the chin. It was a double count out and the only way one of us won. was by standing and saying I did so win. I failed at the last word and Chun said it and won. And after food I gave my goodbyes and took off for the Dragon Balls. This bit I won't go as far into at the last bit. Good, because you've used up half a chapter. This is my story, remember. TCH, kids. Anyway, I found my first one which had 6 stars. And so began my encounter with the bad guys known as the Red Ribbon Army. And the first one I meet was Colonel Silver, who blow up my cloud. I move on to my next orb, which was in the snowy lands. Sadly I wasn't winter ready, was saved by a girl from a village. After recovering I went after the next ball in the battle tower. Under the command of General White, I got in and the first floor was the grunts of the place. I passed them to the next floor. A large man was there and battle him. It turned out to be a robot after I Kamehameha'd it. The next floor was a poor excuse for a ninja. And his so-called cage bunshin was just his 4 other brothers with him. Even you could have handled this guy. I beat 4 and the 5th ran upstairs to unleash my next 4. This was a robot also. But he didn't want to fight. But with the ninja having an explosion to destroy him. Well, I couldn't have that and I attacked the ninja and destroyed the device. And beat the ninja. He leads me to White, but before I could get him, he opens a floor and drops us in on his pet. A large monster that any attack I threw just bounced off. Well, he ate me and battled my way out. I tried a Kamehameha and it bounced off and it ate the robot. I stopped this of course and head-butted the stomach with a great force. But failed. But if it wasn't for something I was told, I wouldn't have used the cold air to freeze the monster and finish him off. I then returned to attack White. I beat him and he tricked me by using the old man I went to save. Could have mentioned that bit. I did say I was speeding up. Anyway, he shot me at my back. And went for another, but the robot, named 8-Man by the way, took the blow. He then attacked White and won. I recovered and 8-Man gave me the 2-star ball. Sadly my radar broke, so I was on my way to find Bulma. And with the help of an old man of the village he told me that Kinetun doesn't break. And this saved me a ton of time from there. Time is ticking, old man. Fine. I found Bulma in her town. Took off with her to find the Dragon Ball and Kuririn tagged along. It was underwater and we entered a pirate cave where I battled a robot. General Blue was there as well, but this was after I battled a giant octopus. I was beaten. If it wasn't for a mouse would have been buried alive in the cave. We escaped and got the 3-star. Blue found us, tied us up. Almost blew us up and I gave chase. He was taken down and I got my balls back and the radar repaired. I then made my way to a small village. I met the village leader named Bora with his son Upa. I found my next Dragon Ball there, my 4-star. But not long after I was put up against a far stronger foe than myself. And was left dead. My 4-star had taken the ATA CK and I was left to climb the tower Karen's home at the top. It took me a full night to make it. There I met Karen San9, a humanoid cat who trained Roshi. There I trained for 2 days trying to get the water that would increase my power. Whereas it took my sensei 3 years. Whoa, I returned just in time to save Upa from Taopaipai, the world's greatest assassin who had also killed me before. But this time I was far more skilled and outdid the man. He tried to attack me with a sword and after I removed that, I left him with little choice, so he tried to kill me with a boom. Luckily I was able to kick it back to him and left him to high end. How did he almost kill you before? He used a move from his fingertips called Dot and Paw. Now with him out the way, I couldn't just leave Upa. So my target now was to gather the others and wish Upa's father back to life. And so I headed for the source, the Red Ribbon Army base. I defeated all who stood against me, and made my way to the boss. He tried to convince me to work with him to take over the world. But I wasn't going for that. So instead he moved to attack, and lost his life in battle. And with that I had 2 more. As I left I found my friends had come to help. And after finding out why the radar couldn't find the last ball, we turned to Roshi's sister, an old fortune teller. Now we had 2 choices, fight or pay. So with no money, we battled, beating each of her minions, and I had to fight my grandpa at the end. But I didn't find that out till I won. I thought he was dead. Roshi's sister can pass from the land of the living to the dead and bring them back for one day. Gohan knew I'd come one day and asked that he'd fight me. Now with the location found. Oh, and my tail was pulled off again. My grandpa used it as a means to show my weakness that I failed to train. With my tail, I get weaker if you hold on to it. Now I found the ball once again in the hands of Pilaf and his crew. They attacked with metal robots and I quickly knocked them back. They then tried for my tail, and when they found that to be useless they combined the robot, and I finished it with a Kamehameha. So I returned and took Upa back to his home. We summoned in the dragon and wished his father back. But, before the balls went I spotted my grandpa's and gripped it before it got away. But it had turned to rock. But I at least knew I had the ball. And after I returned to my friends, I left on a 3-year training system of my own around the world. And I returned for the Tenkaichi Budokai. Once again, me, Kuririn, Yamcha and Chun got to the finals. Along with a few new faces. 2 from the Crane Sen9. Both the turtle and crane trained under a sensei together. Both had a strong rivalry. A werewolf named Man Wolf and a fighter named Panput. First match was Yamcha and the crane student Tenshinhan. The pair were evenly matched and then Yamcha pulled out the wolf Fang Gale. But Yamcha was pushed back. Then things went a level with the Kamehameha. But somehow Tenshinhan absorbed He blow and sent it right back. Yamcha jumped and Ten knocked him out in the air. But he didn't stop there and snapped his leg on the downfall. I wasn't happy and I said I'd avenge Yamcha for that stunt. Ten wasn't too worried, but I didn't care. He would pay for it. Next was Chun and Man Wolf. The wolf of after Chun for the fact he destroyed the moon. Which turned him human. He even went ad for us to kill Chun with a knife. But Chun used hypnosis by using Kuririn's head as a moon. And with this turned the man to a human again. And with that the next match was underway. With Kuririn fighting Chaozu, Ten's partner. This boy had psychic powers. And kept holding Kuririn at bay. But Kuririn thought fast and thanks to maths the boy lost his focus as he had to count with his fingers and lost. And during the fight, Chaozu used the Dodonpa. I mentioned it out loud and Ten quizzed me on it. He was angry when he found I beat him. And then Chun tells me that the assassin is the Crane Master's younger brother. Then I battled Panput, and with a quick deflect, I tripled elbowed his chest and he was out. Then came Chun versus Ten. The fight was great from the get-go. Neither was letting up and it seemed evenly matched. Then Tenshinhan pulled out a new move. The Taiyoken. This created a bright light source thanks to the sun that blinded all but the user. Chun was knocked to the ground but it took 5 seconds before he stood. Then it happened again. What? First there was me and then Yamcha against Tenshinhan, then Kuririn did it to counter Chaozu's Dodonpa. Now Ten was going to do it to Chun. The Kamehameha. The attack was bigger than anyone's and Chun knocked it to the sky. After that Chun jumped out the ring. Something about retirement. Then came my fight. Against Kuririn. Our fight was flying like Chun's and we were putting our speed to the test. And it wasn't long before I had Kuririn laying on the ground after giving a good left hook. He recovered and attacked with a Kamehameha. I said it would be useless and he attacked. He got behind me and gripped my tail. It grew back again. But when he thought he'd won I proved to him in 3 years I could remove my weakness in the tail. I then pulled some high speed that even Kuririn couldn't match and then appearing in front of him hit 8 times to his body with enough force to throw him from the ring. And as soon as that was over, my match with Tenshinhan was about to begin. We got the fight like the last with high-speed attacks. And I was put on the defense where even my high-speed trick on Kuririn failed. And was proceeded to be thrown round like a volleyball. But even his power seemed no use against me. At this point, I had gathered he was using enough force to kill me. So I went up a notch. To my battle power level. And I turned the tide of battle quickly. This fight had even got Tenshinhan excited. The took off again and I still had 10 on the ropes. He then tried the Taiyoken. But I was in luck. I found Roshi in the area only the fighters were where Panput had destroyed the wall showing off. I grabbed the sunglasses he had on and was able to counter 10 as he attacked. And while he was down I was trying to hand the glasses back. Only to be attacked from behind at the count of 7. We went off again and something changed in the fight. Something kept stopping my movement. So 10 could hit me with his full force. And when I thought to be down, 10 yelled out to Chaozu. who had been stopping me under his master's orders to use his power. The Crane Master wanted me dead, and he was even going to go kill Chaozu, who wouldn't freeze me or Tenshinhan. But Roshi saved him and removed Crane with a Kamehameha. It's becoming a constant theme that move now. But with him gone now, our fight went on, and Tenshinhan pulled off a move that gave him the power to bring out a second pair of arms from his shoulder blades. This made my fight harder. With 4 arms I couldn't match him. So again I upped my play, and with simple super speed, made it looking I had 8 arms. He was at his end now. Not even with 4 arms could he win. So he moved to use a move that would kill me if I didn't dodge. The Kikoho. This move uses one's Kai so much that using too many times will kill you. It's that powerful. With that, Ten took to the sky, and then after gathering the energy, he attacked. The arena was wiped out and nothing was left. But I wasn't out of the ring. I jumped at that moment. And now it was just me and Ten, facing in the air, but it was only moments before I fell again. So I used my last move, the Kamehameha, but I knew I wouldn't hit him. So I turned round and used it to headbutt the older male. Now it was just the downfall and first one to hit loses. And we've hit 5,000 words, what now? The writer wants this over with. So we go on. And don't worry Naruto, the story gets quicker soon. Geez, this was supposed to be about me. Hey, I'm the second main character. And the best one around. So let's get back to my tale. Okay, I look to have won here, having just had enough power to push me higher. But I ran out of luck as a vanguard in my way and I hit the ground first. Tenshinhan won. After a friendly shake we returned to the ground and after everyone left, we began our goodbyes. Kuririn had gone to get my stuff. But, just before we could go, we heard Kuririn's voice. When we arrived, we found Kuririn on his back. But we were too late. He was dead. It turned out to be a monster. So my anger, I gripped my Naibo and Bulma's radar and took off. Not even listening to Roshi's calls. I found the monster and took him on. But I was weak from my fight. I attacked in my rage, blinding the fact I was tired. He destroyed the cloud and sent me crashing to the earth, leaving me for dead. But I was alive, and if it wasn't for the food that woke me up, I wouldn't have met the man who had cooked the food I had eaten and had to battle. His name was Yajirobe. This guy was tough, not in as strong, but not someone even with my skills could put down. At first I thought he was with the monster. But after seeing 1 star, I knew he wasn't. But as luck it seems, a monster that was looking for the Dragon Balls showed up, and was in cahoots with him. I was about to take him on. But Yajirobe wanted it, so we settled the only we could. Rock, paper, scissors. And he won. The monster didn't stand a chance. Even when he used lightning, Yajirobe pulled on his katana and put an end to the monster with 1 clean slice. And I wasn't really up for it when Yajirobe ate the monster. But after Yajirobe finished, the one who killed Kuririn returned. I beat this monster hard and fast. And when he made his escape, I killed him off with the Kamehameha. After that I looked to the radar for the balls. And at that moment, the one in charge was above us in a plane. The monster was the Demon King Piccolo. Demon King. Oh, he pales to the Kyuubi of this time. But back then at that current time, he was the head of the power chart. Yajirobe gave me his ball and took off. I battled Piccolo. He beat me to nothing. I thought I had him, but he withstood my Kamehameha and put me out. But once again, they failed to kill me. And thanks to Yajirobe's help I was able to get to Karen's lookout. And while we headed there, Piccolo had used the Dragon Balls. With the help from Upa's father and Yajirobe, we reached the tower's peak way into the night. Karen had watched from his lookout at the fight I had with Piccolo, and knew why I had come. I found out Roshi had died. I was about to take off when Karen offered me a way to get stronger. It would draw out any power left, but it was also a potent toxin. And unless I didn't possess tremendous stamina, spirit, and will to live, I'd die instantly. 14 people had tried this, and all failed. I went for it. I had no choice. I wasn't going to die here. And if I didn't do this, I was dead anyway. The drink was handed to me, and even with a small pinky of it to Yajirobe. Man, his face turned many shades of green. But I drank it, and after 6 painful hours, I had awoken my hidden power. I never knew I could get so strong. And so I turned to face Piccolo. And with the help of a new Kinto-un, given to me by Karen-san 9, I took off, and reached what was known as the palace for the king of the world. Just in time to save Tenshinhan. You had a king for the world. Yeah, but even with a world leader, time is never free from war. If it was, the Red Ribbon Army would never be. But remember this, Naruto, peace is never everlasting. Someone will always want to make a war of something. Now when I faced Piccolo, I find out he used the balls to give his youth back. Giving back his lost powers. But even with this I wasn't planning on losing. And removed the henchman that so easily took down Tenshinhan. Piccolo attacked and I was able to block and use his own moves to throw him around. I beat Piccolo down, but as he stands, he finally uses his true power. And I too, go with my full power. We attacked and I was left in a crater. But I returned from the ground with a Kamehameha. And as he tried to block it, I bent the attack and hit him in the back of the head. We battled again and I was left with an injured knee. But thanks to Naibo, I still need him in the face. But Piccolo wasn't beaten F. Orked me to dodge from a beam attack and then he knocked the pole from my hands. And at that moment of weakness to Piccolo, he blew the area up. But Tenshinhan saved me, but used the rest of his energy. So it was once again a face-off and I gave a good punch to his stomach. He then once again attacked with a beam and left me in a pit. But with Kinto-un, I was able to return to the battle. But Piccolo turned to dirty tactics. And used 10 as a target. He then proceeded to break my left arm with a rock he blew at me. I then decided to attack Piccolo, knowing I could use the balls. Only for Piccolo to say he destroyed the dragon. And then he continued to break the left leg. Piccolo let go of 10 and took to the sky. He was going to dive and kill me then. But I still had my right arm. And with all my energy, fired a beam from my hand at the demon. I then stopped the beam as I rushed him and gathered my power. And with all my will in that fist, I was gambling everything. I broke his guard, and right through his chest and back. As Piccolo exploded I fell to earth and was caught by Yajirobe. I returned with Yajirobe to Karen's. And find out a lot there. About the creator of the Dragon Balls. Way above the tower, the god of earth. I was excited, but I find that even jumping or Kinto-un wouldn't get me high enough. The Niobio was the key to it all. And I left it at the battlefield. I went back to find it. But had no luck. But thankfully, I remembered Roshi's sister and I got answer there. It was at the Kame house. With the pole in hand I returned and now stood on top the tower. Ith a bell from Karen to prove I was worthy of meeting God. With the pole ready, I took off into the sky. And reached the base of the lookout. I climbed the ladder and was greeted by a pitch-black skinned man. In white pants and a red vest. He was named Mr. Popo. And if I could beat him, I would meet Kami. And Mr. Popo was no pushover. And with no chance of winning. And I wasn't going to turn back. I trained on that lookout. With the thin air it was hard and Mr. Popo gave me some words of advice. You must crouch as quiet as the sky and strike quicker than lightning. And the only way was to make my heart still. Oh, I could easily do the stilling you mind. But heart was different, and this would be my way of getting stronger. He was fast and he knew what I was doing. And he taught me more. Presence, scant air movement, instinct, feeling, not seeing. Their things are essential. You can't always follow with just your eyes. As I wanted to continue, the Kami himself spoke up. But I never expected the one I would see as Kami was Piccolo. And I attacked and failed. It was then I noticed this Piccolo was old, not young. I learned he and Piccolo were one. And they separated to Kami could become the new god. Leaving Piccolo the demon lord to form and live. And we made a deal. I trained there and he would bring Shenlong back to revive the ones who died. And was the dragon went back to the balls to be used once more. And I had to train for 3 years. Because, at the next Tenkaichi Budokai, I would have to face Piccolo once more. How? You killed him. He left his final traces of his evil on one egg. That is what became of Piccolo. When I got there 3 years later, I was taller than Bulma. Heck, they even didn't recognize me almost. And as the rounds started, I found that me, Kuririn, Tenshin and Kuririn were going all the way. But Chaozu lost to someone I thought dead. Taopaipai. Piccolo too was also on his way to the finals. A young woman too and an old man as well, reached the finals. Not another one of them perverted tactics, I hope. Nope, she was a fighter. And this was our stand-up. The first round was 10 versus Dao. This fight was going to be good. And I knew 10 was better having faced him before. And not only that, but I find out that all the guys climbed the tower to Karen's. But the fight was short, and as soon as Dao pulled a blade from his arm, the fight was over. But Dao was going for the kill, and 10 stated he would face him alone. And even with a super Dodonpa. With one yell, 10 cancelled the attack. Next was my match with the unnamed girl. And she was fast. Throughout she was trying to get me to figure out who she was, saying I forgot my promise to her. And boy did she make her anger clear. She said I asked for her hand. Question mark. I was still confused. And she said that if I won, she would tell me who she is. And with one good punch to the air, the force knocked her out the ring. And with that she told me her name. Chi. Oh, I forgot about her. And while we walked off, Kuririn stepped up to face Demon Jr. Kuririn started off with a double beam attack which he controlled to follow Jr. And with his back turned to remove the attack, Kuririn struck from behind. Both continued from there to not only fight on the ground, but air too. And Kuririn thought he had him with a Kamehameha, but with a Zanzo-ken and shadow attack to the ground below. But Kuririn stood, but with himself exhausted, he called quits. Then came Yamcha and Shen. And from the start I knew he was not a normal fighter. Sure, he started off like he was clueless, but he used his acting and made a few strong hits and got Yamcha flustered. But the fight turned as Shen attacked with force. And as the fight ended where even Yamcha's newest attack failed, I knew who Shen was. Kami-sama. Me and 10 went up and he was fast. And as we reached a standoff, I called off a break. You see, I had been wearing weights again, and was now at over 200 pounds. And with that removed, even Tenshinhan couldn't keep up then. And then he pulled off his best move yet. And that is, remember what I used in to train you? The Shishin. And I'll let you in on something that maybe you have noticed. It's got two weaknesses. First, I went off with the same stunt, jumping and dodging his beam. Then before he could attack again, I used the Taio-ken. And the problem was his eyes were too good, because he used them so much for his fighting. And finally, I used the second weakness to beat him, because he split into 4 people. Yeah, I noticed it as well. Everything is divided. You got it. Now was Kami and Piccolo. Their pair were going at each other hard, knowing full well how to fight the style they both used. But Kami had a plan. The Mafuba, a move that once sealed the Demon King away, at the cost of one's life. And Kami used it on Piccolo, only for Piccolo to reverse it. As the fight ended I asked for Kami, but Piccolo swallowed the jar. And the only way to get Kami was to kill Piccolo. But in doing so would kill Kami. So at this point now, Piccolo had no weakness. And we then moved straight into the final round. He was going for the kill, using attacks which destroyed large areas. But luckily I was able to make sure that didn't kill anyone near the ring. He even stood against the Super Kamehameha, and in doing so destroyed the clothes that hid the fact he was Piccolo. Everyone ran at that but the announcer and my friends. Piccolo then used a move that expanded his size. But even then I still threw him around. And I saw a chance. I bluffed him to grow bigger and then jumped in his mouth. And was spat out with Kami's container. Then we got back to normal-sized fighting and I even pulled a Kamehameha with my feet so I could fight with my fists. He stunned me and Piccolo went for the punch. But Kami stopped him. I didn't want that and asked I fight alone. And I let Piccolo take one free shot for that stop. By then I finally began to fatigue a bit. And we went right back at it. Piccolo pulled a beam shot that chanced me and I did the old trick of bringing it back to him, damaging his left arm. Piccolo then pulled his arm off and grew another. Yeah, it was slightly creepy. And now Piccolo was mad. So made he destroyed the entire grounds. Luckily my friend ducked away. I had to stand and fight. I wasn't about to lose the Tenkaichi Budokai. That was my goal. I stood against it and in Piccolo's shock, attacked and left him in a crater with the Kamehameha. I thought I'd won, but as the count reached 9 I let my guard down at the second. And Piccolo shot a beam from his mouth, and through my right upper chest. My friends tried to help but they were stopped and I had my chance to stand. But he quickly put me back down. And broke my legs and my left arm. So unlike the Demon King from before, I didn't have an arm to fight with. Piccolo attacked with a beam from the sky. And believed to have killed me. And in his moment of victory, I flew in from behind and headbutted him. The force knocked him from the ring and I had won. And thanks to Yajirobe, I had the Senzu Bean and was fully resorted. Senzu Bean, a bean that can fill you up for 10 days. It also heals your body. And as I cheered I spotted Kami about to kill Piccolo. I stopped him and everyone was wondering why. Simple, if Kami and Piccolo are one. Yes, they died together. But if Kami created the Dragon Balls, would they also vanish? I restored Piccolo to health and let him go, wanting him to be stronger, and I vowed to be a level above him when we battled again. I turned down the title for Kami and left with Chi-Chi. I never saw them again then for nearly 5 years. And finally I would have unanswered questions. I met my brother that day with my friends, called Raditz, a Saiyan from the planet Vegeta that was destroyed. I battled him as he was planning to kill people on another planet and needed my help. I said no and he took Gohan. It was me and Piccolo against Raditz and I died with my brother. But with Saiyans coming for the Dragon Balls, Piccolo couldn't really do much but prepare. And trained my son as well. I trained in Otherworld and under Kaio-sama. And learnt Kaioken. A year later I returned to find Yamcha, Choazu, Tenshinhan and Piccolo dead. I had just arrived in time to not be stuck in Otherworld. I battled the large man named Nappa, and beat him and told them to go. The other, Vegeta, the Prince of Saiyans, killed his comrade and turned to me. Our battle was fierce, and I showed my power full force. From Kaioken to Nibai, Sanbai Kaioken. Now I best explain. Kaioken multiples one's one energy in a heartbeat, making you faster and stronger. But the sudden increase expands the body muscles. So too much and you'd explode. Me and Vegeta were at a struggle now. My Sanbai Kamehameha, against his Gyuriku-hu, and it was even, but I wasn't going to lose and put everything on the line. Yanbai da Kaioken. And I won that struggle. But Vegeta wasn't done and uses his power to turn the table. And I learned what it was from my brother. And only then did it hit me during the fight with Vegeta. During a full moon, a Saiyan turns into a giant monkey. I knew then what happened to Grandpa that night. And even when I made an escape to use my trump card, Genki Dama, Vegeta stopped me before I could strike. And quickly crushed my legs. But I got him back with a blast to his right eye. But instead of poking my life out, he began to crush me. Kuririn and my son Gohan showed up. And with a bit of distraction and some help from Yajirobe, they turned Vegeta back to normal by cutting his tail off. But Vegeta was still strong, beating both down and continuing on me. Gohan attacked and during the fight I gave Kuririn the last amount of power left in one final Genki Dama. He waited for the right moment and threw the attack at Vegeta. Vegeta had seen it coming and jumped it. But as he thought he was safe. But Gohan, who was in the attack's firing line, deflected the attack because of his good Kai. We thought he was done. But even when he lay at Kuririn's feet, he wasn't finished. Sadly for him, even he was running short on power to kill us now. He moved for Gohan and I heard his call of a tail. Thanks to the move he made in the sky to make a fake moon, Gohan could turn into an ape. But if it wasn't for Yajirobe, Gohan would have been given the time to transform. But like me, he turned into a mindless beast. But that small part of him there listened to my calls and turned to take down Vegeta. Vegeta cut the tail but didn't have time to dodge the slowly shrinking monkey. And as he lay there, he made for his escape. Kuririn was going to kill him. But I said no, I wanted to fight him again. I was going to be stronger than him. And as the Saiyan left we were left to be recovered and heal. In that time I recovered. Kuririn, Gohan and Bulma went to planet Namek, the home of where Piccolo and Kami-sama originally came from, in order to use their Dragon Balls. While they were there I hear they encounter Vegeta's ship. And after I recovered I was straight out there, training in a gravity chamber to 100 times Earth's gravity. I arrive in time to save my son's life along with Kuririn and Vegeta's. I then stood to face the remaining members of the Ginyu Force, beating each one of them. And even after having my body swapped and then back, I was left battered and in need of recovery. While everyone else faced Frieza, a powerful foe. His power kept getting higher, and even when the newly wished back Piccolo returned, he couldn't even face Frieza's fourth form. I arrived in time to face Frieza. I handled his first few strikes with ease. And then Vegeta began to state I was a Super Saiyan. And Frieza killed Vegeta, but as he lay dying, he actually showed true emotion to me before he died. I battled Frieza, and when I thought matched, Frieza showed me that he hadn't even reached half his maximum. And as the battle went on, not even the Jubai Kaioken, or even a Ni Jubai Kaioken Kamehameha was enough. I once again called for a trump card, Genki Dama, and for a time, I had Frieza guessing what I was doing. But he caught on, and thanks to Piccolo I was able to get the ball ready to take Frieza out. And then, not even that was enough, as he stood from that attack, hit Piccolo, who saved me. And then, he killed Kuririn. But this time, unlike before with Piccolo, I was in so much rage. And it happened. I became a Super Saiyan. And Frieza was no match. Even 100% of his full power. So he was going to destroy the planet and take me with it. I didn't have much time left. And as the fight drew to an end, Frieza almost died from his own attack. I gave him a small bit of my Kai to get away, even though he was in 3 pieces. But as my back was turned, he attacked. And I finished him. Sadly, I couldn't find a ship to escape. And when all hope seemed lost, I spotted a single space pod fall into it to escape. I made it just in time. I trained for a year and learned the ability of Shunken Ito, a power where I could travel to anyone's place as long as I could sense their power level. I returned to Earth and sensed Frieza's Kai. But I didn't worry about Earth. Someone was there waiting, and finished Frieza off. A young Super Saiyan from the future, named Trunks. He warned me of the androids, created by the lone survivor of the Red Ribbon Army, Jero, and in 3 years they would come. And I would have died from a disease that attacked my heart. I was given an antidote for it that was from the future. And with that he left. Oh, and he was also Bulma and Vegeta's son. Yeah, leave that out, why don't ya? And 3 years passed and androids came. I came down with the disease during he fight and was out for the most of the time. Piccolo, Vegeta and Trunks couldn't face the two. And these weren't even the ones I'd faced. So when I recovered, we went to the lookout. And me and Vegeta knew the only way to win was ascend the next level of Super Saiyan. By this time an android named Cell appeared on Earth from the future to absorb the 2 other androids and become complete. Vegeta let Cell become complete. And now he was stronger than I had expected. Far beyond anything that a Super Namek or Super Saiyan could touch. But I wasn't worried. I knew that we would win this fight. But I left everyone in the dark. So a week since then, every one of us arrived at Cell's tournament. A person named Mr. Satan, who won the strongest under the heavens, stepped forward to face Cell. Since my time that I defeated Piccolo, no one remembers the fights that took place at the Tenkaichi Budokai but a few. And Hercule was beaten with a simple palm tap. And I stepped into the ring. I pulled my full power out and Cell followed. I hit fast and hard, and that just left Cell with a smirk. He then began his attack. Now the thing about Cell is he's made of everyone's cells, giving him all kinds of powers and abilities. And one attack is the Kamehameha. But because of how high his Kai was, I jumped up to his fire wouldn't do damage to the planet. And with Shunken Ito, I dodged and gave a right kick to him. Then it was me on the defense and our fight got into the air. And Cell decided the arena was no longer needed for the fight to go on, and destroyed it. Luckily everyone got away when I yelled out to them. Our fight continued with the whole world as our ring, and I pulled a drastic move. I aimed the Kamehameha down from the sky on him. When he thought I would, I used Shunken Eye to get in front of him and hit him point blank. But he had Piccolo's cells and regenerated when I thought he was down. And we continued our fight. But as it got to a point of fighting where I knew I couldn't win, I gave up, and said the one stronger than me would fight my son Gohan to my place to fight Cell. I wanted Cell to make Gohan angry, because that way he would release his hidden power that I saw in Seishin Todoki no Heia, the Room of Spirit and Time. But as I watched, Piccolo made me realize I may have made a mistake. Gohan wasn't a fighter like me. He was just a child still. But before I could do something, Cell summoned mini cells to his aid and attacked me and my friends. It wasn't till Android 16, the robot that we made friends with for a short time, died at Cell's feet, that Gohan snapped, going beyond an ascended Saiyan, to a Saiyan surpassing beyond a Super Saiyan 2, and Gohan was strong, but his Saiyan arrogance in Super Saiyan 2 led him to keep hurting Cell, instead of killing him. So when Cell was about to explode, taking the Earth with it, I stepped forward and took Cell to Kaio-sama's planet, and died there. But Cell didn't, he revived Ed himself and used my Shuken Ito to return. He took down Trunks and Gohan saved the enraged Vegeta. The pair was set then for the final moment. Cell was going to attack with a Kamehameha, and with my help, encourage Gohan to defeat the new Super Cell with a one-handed Kamehameha. Gohan wasn't giving his all, and thanks to Vegeta's surprise attack, I got Gohan to give his all and finally finish Cell. With Cell's final defeat, they returned to the lookout to be healed by the new Kami of Earth. Dend, a Namek Gohan and Kuririn befriended when they went to Namek. And with his appearance he made new Dragon Balls. These ones granted 2 wishes now, but still couldn't revive a person more than once. They had planned to go to Namek to wish me back, but I told them no. See, Bulma told me I draw these enemies to me, and I had to agree. They all came because of me. So I stayed in Other World to train. 7 years passed and I overheard from Gohan that a tournament was coming up. So with a 1-day pass with Roshi's sister, I returned to Earth to see everyone, and meet some new faces. One was my 7-year-old son, Goten, who was born not long after the Cell Games. The other was Gohan's school friend, Vital, the son of Mr. Satan. They had split the tournament into youths and adults since I last went to the Tenkaichi. Me and Vegeta got to watch our sons fight, and Gohan just made it in time for Goten and Trunks to fight. What about your preliminaries? They had turned it into a test of hitting a punching bag. We all made it up to Vegeta, who destroyed the machine. Gohan and Vital had to wait for a new one. The fight was interesting to watch. Goten was skilled for his age, but his control on moves like Kamehameha were lacking, whereas Trunks was more skilled in the areas above Goten. Goten lost, but at least I got to see my son fight. Then we moved to the adults, but not before hearing Trunks had to fight Mr. Satan. Though we didn't stay round to watch. Trunks won, I heard from Gohan. Now for the prelim, it was me, Vegeta, Piccolo, Kuririn, Gohan, Vital, 18. She's the cyborg that Kuririn became close with. When Gohan had battled Cell, he punched 18 out of him. And he turned back to his second form. That's why he tried to explode. Oh, anyway, Kuririn got close with 18. And had a kid. It wasn't until, as I said, find out she was a cyborg, that it then made sense. There were also 8 other fighters. And so with the draws done, we began with the first match. Kuririn vs. Punta. The man was a huge guy and fast for his size. But Kuririn was stronger and with quick attacks, won the round. Then came the next round. Piccolo, our Demon Jr. in this tournament versus Shin. But they didn't fight. See, we met him and his companion before the rounds. And this guy left Piccolo a little funny. By saying something to answer Piccolo's thoughts. He gave up. Then came Vital and her fighter, Spopovich. The fight was clearly in Vital's favor. But as the fight went on, I knew something wasn't right. She should have given in. But she didn't. Not even with her power to fly saved her from this guy. He just kept coming, and she only got more tired. She became a punching bag to him. Gohan was angry. He almost went at Spopovich as a Super Saiyan. But this guy's companion Yamu stopped him, and Vital was taken to a medical room. I went right to Karen. I returned with Senzu and Gohan. Left for Vital before going out to his fight. Then it was Shin's companion, Kibito. Kibito wanted Gohan to go Super Saiyan. And we find out why. Shin is the Kaio Shin, the Lord of Lords, the God of the Gods. He needed Gohan for a reason I didn't know why at the time. The two named Spopovich and Yamu attacked the now Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Shin froze Gohan and the pair took off with his energy. He the Kaio Shin's word that Gohan would be fine. I followed with Piccolo, Vegeta and Kuririn after the pair who took off. Turned out they were being used by a warlock. Back even more in time. A Warlow. CK named Babidi created a being far stronger than anything ever known. A jinn known as Boo. It knew nothing but to cause destruction and kill. And piped out hundreds of planets in years. There were 5 Lord of Lords. Only one remained. And Shin, the one who remained, faced Babidi while Boo was sealed to destroy Earth, and killed the Warlock. But it turned out Babidi had a son, who was just as bad as his father. He was called Babidi. We tracked the group down and Gohan and Kibito came up. We suppressed our Kai and waited for Babidi. But he wasn't alone. The King of Demons, Dabra, was under his spell too. Babidi was a small creature, but his spells even brought Dabra under his control. Babidi killed Yamu and Spopovich after they gave them the energy. And Dabra attacked us by surprise, turning Kuririn and Piccolo to stone. Kibito was attacked first and put out of the way. Vegeta got his to fight on the first floor. Nothing much. Then it was me against Yakin. Boy was he fast. And he absorbed my energy. But a quick Super Saiyan 2 burst his bubble, literally. Gohan was next against Dabra. But after a short fight, he took off and Babidi took control of Vegeta and took us back to the tournament. But Vegeta let him be controlled. Just so he could fight me. He killed hundreds of innocent people to get me to fight him. I had no choice. I called we moved to somewhere else. But Shin said I would have to get past him. I wasn't going to back down and prepared to do it if I had to do. And lucky he backed down and we went to a new location. Shin and Gohan went after Boo. I battled Vegeta and it was intense. And problem was I had caused this. He hated the fact I still surpassed him beyond his limits. So that's why he wanted Babidi to do this. So he could gain what he lost. Believing that having this dark power would make him stronger. And he hated he had to go so low. As the fight went on I sensed a great power suddenly. I called a stop and we team up so stop the newly revived Boo. Vegeta didn't notice, or choose not to, but I noticed something weird about Boo's Kai. Then Boo's Kai jumped incredibly. Vegeta agreed to teamwork, but the second I turned my back for a Senzu, he knocked me out. When I awoke, I couldn't sense Vegeta, or Gohan's Kai. I find out soon both died fighting Boo. Kaioshin too was killed. But I found out one thing that surprised me. Vegeta for once gave his life to protect those he cared for. For the first time he did it for others and not for himself. I knew there was only one way to win. A technique I learned in the afterlife. Fusion, by the Nadamoru. It works by two doing the same positions like a mirror image. Both must be close in height and have equal power level. And they have to be comparable. Or it won't work. I was the lookout with Piccolo, Kuririn, Dend and Popo at the time of this. Mr. Popo requested the idea of Goten and Trunks. That was the best idea for it. I had to move fast, but things were going on around me to slow me down. First I had to stop Bulma using Shenlong. They'd already used one wish to bring everyone back. So got Shenlong to leave and return in 4 months. As he only used one of the wishes. Babidi made a worldwide call. Wanting Goten, Trunks and Piccolo's location. We didn't answer his request and I got the boys started on fusion. Babidi had called twice as I got the 2 ready. And before we begin on that second call, Babidi was heading for Trunks' home. And we need the radar to find the balls. Trunks took off for the radar. I went to stop Boo. And that's when I got to meet him. He was a large round pink mass. But he was strong. I found out something about the pair. Boo and Babidi. Boo doesn't like the Warlock. I used this as to get Boo out of Babidi's control slowly, asking why he follows his orders. But Boo was going for me. I had no choice but to play my cards now. I showed him no one had seen by Kaio-sama. I went Super Saiyan 2 and showed them my ace. Super Saiyan 3. 3, but I'll explain. Super Saiyan 3 is a level too strong for the living world. It's that powerful. It was so strong that it drained most of my time on Earth, shortening my day. Boo was incredible. Even with a small amount of time, he can copy people's attacks. I used my time wisely and Trunks recovered the radar with time left for me to leave. But not before I left some parting words for Boo. And it did do something. Babidi was dead, and Boo was in control of what to do now. I had 30 minutes left. I had to hurry. Soon time ran out and it was left to Piccolo to continue their training. I returned to Otherworld to find out Gohan was still alive. So I went in search for him in Otherworld. He was on the Kaioshin's home world. I spent my time training with Gohan. And a day passed, and I convinced Gohan to test that sharp sword of his out. Sword. It was a sword said to give him great power. It was incredibly heavy. Before we could cut a boulder in two, Kaio offered a stronger, lighter blade. It was called Kachin, the strongest no alloy. To our surprise and horror the blade snapped. But it only turned out to be a good thing from there. An elderly Kaio was sealed inside and he had a power. But I had to convince him. Good thing he was like my first sensei Roshi. But it took more than perverted mags to get him to help. A proper chick was what he wanted. I offered him the right thing. But I won't go into what. You had perverted senseis. I'm surprised you didn't end up like them. He. Now, this elder's power was to make you stronger than your normal limit. And Gohan was the one he used it on. He spent hours with Gohan just sitting there as he chanted. Meanwhile, Goten and Trunks in their fusion state, battled a newly changed Buu. Stronger and darker than before. But the boys had become a powerful fusion, Master Super Saiyan 3 so quickly where it took me years. Their powers were incredibly even. But the boy had the advantage and was about to win. But their energy ran short. And Gohan had also finished in time. And with a power up. He was ready, and incredible his power was too. He made it in time to help the now separated pair and Piccolo. Gohan tore into Buu and he ran off. But an hour later he returned but nothing had changed about him. He called to challenge the boys and the pair took his challenge. He was setting a trap. The second the Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks appeared, he absorbed Piccolo and Gotenks. Buu now had Gotenks' power on top, plus Piccolo's intelligence. It seemed that when Buu absorbed beings he became a whole new person. Taking on a new kind of Majin Buu. From the innocent Buu to the evil Buu. Now he was a stronger Buu with greater intelligence and battle power. And he was going to continue his previous form's goal. Kill Gohan. Gohan couldn't win, and I was powerless to help him. But then the elder helped me with this problem. He gave me 1,000 years of his life left to live. So I could live again and help Gohan. And this how I'm here now. But I'll explain in a bit. I was about to leave when the elder questioned my plan. Fusion he said was a no-go. Buu wouldn't give me time. But he had another way. His earrings. If two beings wore one on their ear, like one person would, they would fuse and become one. But stay like that for life. Too bad Kaioshin and Kibito didn't know that soon enough. Potara can only be used by that person once. I had no choice, even if I had to go to Gohan's school from now on. I had to do it. I saved the group in time before Buu killed them. I called to Gohan to catch the earring. But he missed in his confused state. I was so screwed and hurried Gohan to find it while I battled Buu. But it didn't get to happen as Gohan found it in time. And just at that moment, Buu lost his fusion power. He was powerless to us. I told Gohan not to worry and I made the error saying that in my moment of confidence. He absorbed Gohan and now I had no partner to fuse. But Buu gave me a chance, fuse with someone he said. I had small choices, Dend or Hercule. I was about to choose Hercule, when another Kai appeared. Vegeta. He was back and I took off before Buu could get me. But he wouldn't. I had lied to him about my power and not showed him Super Saiyan 3. As Buu closed in I told him Buu absorbed everyone, how he'd got so strong. It got through to him somehow and he decided to fuse. I told him as he put it on. The actions that come from the fusion. He didn't like it but still went ahead. We fused, and Vegeta was made. With a new look different to fusion, we powered up to Super Saiyan. We beat Buu into the ground, no technique he copied or didn't make any difference. Even turning us into candy. We still kicked his ass. We left him with no choice. The choice we wanted him to fuse us so we could get the guys out. And it worked, but the body of Buu stopped the Potara's effect and we separated. Then Vegeta went and destroyed one earring. We removed each of the fused pods and Buu dropped to normal levels that he was at after absorbing Buu. Now came one more removal, we found the innocent Buu there. But the evil one wasn't about to let that Buu go. Ta threatened the removal of innocent Buu and the evil one yelled about not existing. We didn't know what would happen and we watched as Vegeta pulled good Buu down. The evil faded before us and we made our escape as he transformed. But when we got out, we found he wasn't getting weaker, only stronger. He became a kid like Boo. But this one was totally and purely evil. He was the original Boo. Boo was going to blow up the planet. We had no choice but to run. As we did, I grabbed Hercule and Den and we all made it off to the Kaioshin home world, thanks to the newly fused Kibito and Shin. They offered us the Potara again. But this time we refused. I wanted to fight on my own strength. And I doubt Vegeta would have fused. We underestimated Boo as he appeared with Shunken Ito. Me and Vegeta attacked while the two Kaios and Den took off to safety. Satan was left behind by accident. I got to fight Boo first. And I let Vegeta know something. I could have beaten the fat Boo that time. But I wanted the kids to take the place as Earth's saviors. But Vegeta took off and didn't listen to me, and Boo didn't seem to take me lightly. I went right into the fight as a Super Saiyan 3. Our fight was even. It was going to be close. But I couldn't get a moment to gather my power. Vegeta thought I could win, he said so himself. He knew he was no chance against Boo. But Boo was just toying with us. I warned Vegeta as he gave me time to power up, that if he died again as a dead person, he will no longer exist in either world. I thought he could do the minute, he looked like he could. But it wasn't going to be. I thought I would have to jump in when Hercule spoke up. I watched as something happened to Boo. Vegeta called for me to strike, but my power, it was going down. My energy was quickly running out. Boo then spat out the good one. So he could finally hit Satan. Before Boo could do more, good Boo attacked evil Boo. And while they battled, my power gave out. I couldn't gather my energy. The difference I had in the dead body showed how much a living body exhausted that energy I had in Super Saiyan 3. Vegeta called the Kaios to get the Dragon Balls. It was time for Earth to save themselves this time. With all 7, Vegeta requested the first wish to have the Earth back. Then the second was to have all the non-evil people to be revived since the Budokai. I thought I had figured Vegeta's plan out. But he threw me for a loop. The Genki Dama. We tried. Vegeta got all our friends to help. And I only got it a bit bigger. We weren't going to make it. The universe was doomed. But then all the power came from the help of the champion of the world. Satan turned the tide of the universe and we gathered the Kai for the Genki Dama. I called Vegeta to get away. But he was too injured. I couldn't throw it. Boo attacked me and Satan saved Vegeta at that moment. I could attack, and attack I did with the Genki Dama. But I was wasted. I didn't have the energy to push the ball all the way and kill Boo. And Boo pushed back. Dend used the last wish to restore my power, and as I turned Super Saiyan, I pushed that ball all the way. And I hoped one day to fight a good version of him, and said farewell. While we began to recover, we found the good Boo. Vegeta wanted to be rid of him while Hercule wanted him to live. I asked Den to heal them. If it wasn't for the pair, we'd all be dead and I wouldn't be talking to you now. It was touch and go back on the lookout with Boo. And it really was touch and go. I thought Bulma was going to kill me. 10 years passed and things had changed. No one remembered what happened with Boo. And he was free to live outside like a normal human. Vidal and Gohan had got married and had a kid. My granddaughter Pan. Gohan had become a scholar. Vegeta and Bulma had another kid. A young girl named Bra. I'm beginning to see a pattern in Bulma's family. And by then I had changed from my old orange outfit to what I gave you that day we met. I was entering the Budokai once again. And I convinced Vegeta to come too. A strong fighter was going to be there. And I only knew who it was. There were 12 fighters for this Budokai. And they had removed the junior level. I asked Boo to set up the order. So it was me at 3 against Uub at 4. Quote. 10 years ago, I made a plea for him to be reincarnated as a good person. The King of Hell must have granted my request. First up were Pan and her fighter. She showed she was not someone to overlook for her age or size. Then came me and Uub. But he was so nervous. I really had to make him angry to fight. And it was worth it. I knew he was Boo from that spar. I decided from there I would train him. And with that I said my goodbyes and promise I would come home one day. I never did find out what happened with the Budokai. Time passed by and I went into a retirement sort of. I still trained but I knew the Earth was safe. How wrong I was. It took 25 years before things went downhill. So many had passed on by now, and Vegeta was beginning to tire at his age. Trunks, Goten, Uub and Pan were the ones to step forward, but they fell one by one, not Pan. Gotenks or even Uub could match this foe. I stepped forward once more, and put an end to this foe. But then I didn't expect what would happen next. My powers, anyone using Kai was now something to fear. The others could hide. They have lived their normal lives. I couldn't. I left with Vegeta to Otherworld where he lived out the rest of his life on the Kaioshin home world. Earth had advanced in technology and it had gotten to their heads. And began to fight for power over the land. I could only watch as my home, the place I protected for so long, died away. I hadn't aged like everyone else. The life Kaioshin gave me really did end up giving me 1,000 years of life. When there wasn't anything else left to fight for, I returned to Den's Lookout. It had been 200 years since then. I had taken Karen to Otherworld as the lookout tower was destroyed. Den's Lookout was protected from normal eyes that didn't feel Kai. I could come and go and no one noticed. Den was old and there was no Namek from the home world that would come and take over. With the world as it was, Den made a decision. He gave his power of the Dragon Balls to me. I was now its keeper. And with it, Den passed on. Mr. Popo had died some time ago. I was all alone now. But Shenlong appeared before me. I could grant any wish I wanted now. And at my own will of what it was, I no longer had to ask the dragon. But it came at the cost of my life force. The more wishes I made, the quicker I would die. So, how many have you made in the time you've been here? I made a wish to restore a primitive life back to the land. And with it, ninja and chakra appeared. I created the Rinnegan with my wish by accident. And that is how ninja were created. I appeared before the sage and his 5 students and explained to them. That is why now, every temple elder or guardian are told of me. I felt the earth would be safe with them. Then demons appeared, but luckily there were people to protect it. The 4th Hokage was one of them. I've been meaning to ask you something on that. Why didn't you help him? He was your student. I learned long ago that this was no longer my world to protect. Just watch over. It was Minato's job to fight and protect his people. And he was to watch over the world soon enough. Then, that's why I choose you. You were the one to take his place. I know you'll do it. Naruto sighed as he mused over everything he was told. This was too incredible, and yet, it explained so much about this old man. Rest, Naruto, Goku said with a smile. We'll soon have to return to the Wind Temple. Let's spend the rest of the life left and get you ready. Naruto nods. I guess, and I have a lot to think about. Mind if I ask you stuff every now and then? Goku nods. I have no problem with it. Never feel afraid to ask. Naruto nods with a smile. Thank you. Good night. Night. I don't know if that was a solid bit after the events of GT. And more will come to light in the future. Sorry if this bored you. Nest of Destruction. 3 weeks ago, a scientist leaned up to a glass screen. He stares for a second before a large arachnid latches onto the wall. Yes, Orochimaru-sama will be pleased with this. Kukuku. The man chuckles. He looked along to the next container. Yes, the arachnids' increase in size is amazing. If this keeps up, they'll be big enough to kill humans. Yes, he mused, rubbing his hands. The perfect killers, able to sneak not only through the ground, but can move through the waters. A killer with amazing jumping speed that even the best ninja will be overdone by, and the webbing. The perfect use at stop. Ing a ninja. Now, all that's needed is control, otherwise this experiment is useless, the man mused as he walked up to his desk. He stopped a second, before he wrote his report. His eyes fell on the container on his desk. The spider he had resting in there had vanished. A cold sweat appeared. This kind was a new species found by accident that he was about to study. But it had taken the live S of 15 sound ninja when it escaped while it was brought here. And in a place where there is barely any light. He feared to move, or even go so far as to put his hand on his back. This thing was as deadly as they come. And he was not planning on dying this way. He glanced about, hoping to find it. He was unaware as he searched for this prey. Another had joined to play, its legs slowly creeping its way up the man's back. its round furry body getting closer to the soft flesh of neck. The man's eyes fall on the escapee. Slowly he goes to get a container. But before he could do so, he yelled out in pain as two fangs dug in. And at that moment, the escapee jumped at him. And everything went black. Present, Jan, was what echoed out as a young blonde in monk's clothing as he stood out in an open field. Man, it's a warm morning. Even in winter, the blonde muttered. He glanced to the elderly male sat by a fire as he cooked the morning's breakfast. The elderly male had gray hair, Dly looked a man that would be called elderly, and wore a white vest with gray hakama. Food will be ready soon, Naruto. The old man spoke as he stood. He started to make his way over. So let's get ourselves woken up, how about a spar? Naruto nods. Hey, I'll show you how much I've improved during the time back in Konoha Goku Oji-san. Naruto chirped. Goku chuckled. Then a small glint in his eye appeared. Naruto jumped back as Goku skidded up close and unleashed a strong left kick. Naruto flipped and as he put his right foot down jumped forward. Marud Sora wo Yurugasu Sono Higashi Pawa, Anyo Gekutatsu ga Hajimata. Yami wo Sate Sakuretsu Suru Chiju Saiko no Batoru Dazi, Kor ga. Karada mo, Tamashi mo, Subit Hanu ni Kawaru. Naruto's Path of Kai, Nest of Destruction, Atsui Biggest Fight, K's wa Mot Unedaichi, Akari wa, Hora, Harikeen Yugokasu Korga Kerme. Tenshi wa Ima, Hikori wo Kakatatakat Iru sa, Inochi Yori mo Daiji na Yumi Mamorinuku Tame ni, Chikara Komit, Hayate no, Uni Tobaikau Panchi wa Ukidashi no Junetsu sa, Kasoku Sugat, Bakahatsu Suru Chiju Saiko no Pawa Dazi, Kor ga. Tashika na Ayan no Shori, Sono te ni Suru Tame, Atsui Biggest Fight. Ace wa Mun de Managiran da I'll give you energy. Harikeen Yugokasu Kor ga Kerme. Tenshi wa Ima, Mirai no Tame Tasuki Susum Z. Kakegenaki Hikari Dake wo Dakashimaru Tame ni Atsui Biggest Fight. K's wa Mot Unedaichi, Akari wa, Hora. Harikeen Yugokasu Kor ga Kerme. Tenshi wa Ima, Hikori wo Kakatatakat Iru sa, Inochi Yori mo Daiji na Yumi Mamorinuku Tame ni. Ellipsis. Naruto is thrown off balance by the force of energy from Goku's right palm. The blonde just got his footing and skidded to a stop. Naruto was about to draw his blade when Goku put his hand up. He glanced to the fire. Breakfast is ready, man. Hat was good, Naruto muttered with a grin. He glanced to Goku. So how long should it take before we reach the Lightning Temple? Well, if we make good time today, we'll be there by tomorrow midday at best. Naruto grinned. Sweat. I can't wait to begin my next stage of training, Naruto said with a grin. Slowly the pair entered the forest that headed to the town to their destination. But as the Y got closer, Naruto began to notice the white texture on the trees and the ground. Goku glanced to Naruto. It's webbing. I know that, but so much. What could have made that? Most likely a neomorphe. Goku blinked as Naruto had stopped. A blank look met Goku. Hee. Goku chuckled as he scratched his head. Spiders. I already knew that. What's a Reino, whatever you said. Goku motioned Naruto to follow. It's basically spiders you encounter in your everyday life. You know, falsity, plectrurity and salticity. Goku glanced back to see another blank-looking blonde standing still, looking at the older male. Sorry. I mean spiders like daddy long legs, plectrurid and jumping spiders. Why are you talking like this? All this advanced meaning is not good for me, Naruto grumbled. During my time on Earth, I met all sorts of people. One was someone who studied spiders. So picked up information which still lingers in the back on my mind. Oh, well, can you talk normal? I'm not an expert like you. Goku chuckled. I'll try, Goku said looking ahead. He blinked. What's this? Goku said as Naruto looked ahead. There was a shinobi standing at a tapped barrier. Halt, the shinobi called. He was a lightning shinobi. What's going on? Goku asked as they walked up. Sorry, but I can't tell you. No one is allowed past till it's clear. There is a 5-mile no-go zone here. So if you wish to go through, You will have to take the 5-day backtrack and go round. Sorry for the trouble. Goku nods and drags a jaw-dropped Naruto with him. 5 days. But his training. Later that night, Goku and Naruto were camped out along the road. Naruto in a poor state. His training was just beyond that town and they had to go round. This wouldn't do. Cheer up. It's not the end of the world. Goku said with a grin. Naruto scowled. My training's only a day away and we have to spend 5 days going round. Those 4 days could be used to help me train. Goku waved his hand. Just calm down. We'll leave tomorrow, midday, and if it will make you happy, we'll fly over. Naruto huffed. Why couldn't we have already done that? Naruto grumbled. It's better to walk. Saves wasting energy. Why? Oh, you could increase by trekking for days instead of flying the same distance in hours. Naruto gumbled. A small noise got Goku's attention before he turned back to the fire. Let's get some rest. Meanwhile, some distance from the camp, in the town from the pair would have passed. People were at work. Ninja from lightning, and scientists were busy studying. The town was coated in vast amounts of white silk. Windows shattered and doors torn down. What could have done this? One ninja must, as he stood on guard for the scientists. The ninja next to him spoke. Looks like something a spider wool. Dee-doo, I saw something like that in my shed once. The ninja scoffed. Get real. The spiders would need to be the size of a human or more. Get your head out of the world of fantasy. This isn't some stupid story. The ninja chuckled. Seems like it to me. You know, the pair looked up to see a man in a brown coat with light brown hair and glasses. He smiled. Giant spiders may not be too far from the truth. Good evening, Professor. So I'm right? The ninja asked with a smirk at his partner. The professor nodded. Could very well be. Looks like this could be connected to some sort of summoning though. But we're still studying the behavior of the attack. After that we'll get our answers. Now I've mentioned to your superiors. Be careful. Most spiders are nocturnal, so don't let your guard down. The ninjas nod. With that the professor walked on. See, I told you it was spiders. I still think it's bull, the ninja huffed. Excuse me. The pair blink and look at each other. Hello. The pair looked on to see a small brown-haired girl with green eyes. Did my daddy come through here? The professor. The girl nods. That way. The ninja pointed. Thank you. The girl chirped before running off. The ninja blinked. You know, she'd more or less food for these spiders. The other ninja sighed at his companion. There are no giant, freaking spiders. The young girl giggled as she made her way down the route. She was in a simple red shirt and white skirt. Aged around 8 or 9. Where'd Daddy go? A scuffling noise got the girl's attention. Daddy. The girl spoke walking into the silk-coated room. Back with the ninja they had continued to argue with. The professor came back with some scientists. She find you. The professor blinked at the ninja. Who? The small girl. She was looking for you. No. Now small girl. Who was it? I think she's your daughter. She had brown hair, green eyes and 2 pigtails sort of. The professor quickly paled. Damn, come on. We best find her. The professor called as they hurried along. Back the way they came. Back with the girl. Daddy, you here? The girl called as she walked the destroyed rooms. Small scuffled noises echoed about as the girl began to worry. She turned round to a noise. Slowly walking back. Daddy. She tapped against something behind her. The girl slowly turned. Where is she? The professor yelled. The ninja looked about. The silk is hiding her tracks. Let's. The group stilled to a loud scream. They quickly hurry to the stop. They burst into the room with Kaden-based lighting to see. Nothing. I know I heard her scream. It had to be here. The professor yelled as he looked about the room. He blinked as he tapped something with his foot. He glanced down. Finding 2 red beads. He clenched his fist. It was his daughter's hairpiece. He looked forward to find a caved-in hole. Fresh silk laced there. He growled. Well, he said standing. Hurry up and get this cleared. He yelled to the shinobi. Back out at camp. Naruto was slowly waking up. Damn, need to pee. He grumbled walking off into the forest. Damn Oji-san and his spiders. Every time I close my eyes I'm seeing 8 more looking back at me. Naruto grumbled as he peed against a tree. An owl got Naruto's attention and the blonde looked at it, noticing with the moonlight more webbing. This place is infested. I just know I'll wake up with spiders on me in the morning. Naruto grumbled. He looked at the owl. Shoo, you want to be spider food. Go on, get, Naruto called out, but like there is anything big enough to eat it. Naruto watched the owl be knocked to the ground and screech as something tore at its body. Naruto froze. The light showed a silver body. With 8 hairy legs. Naruto paled. That looked like the size of a cat. I'll just go back to camp. And just pretend I never saw that. Naruto must as he walked backward. Naruto froze as something touched his back. He glanced and watched as slowly, leg after leg of hairiness began to appear. It wasn't until it hissed that Naruto bolted. A yell echoing out. Spiders. Giant fucking spiders. Naruto yelled running into the forest. His normal skills leaving him to just run into web after web. The 2 spiders giving chase. Shit 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 shit. Naruto yelled to himself. Got to hide, got to. Naruto tripped as the ground behind him popped up. Naruto rolled on his back and panted as the ground quickly dropped. What was? He didn't get time to finish as something landed on him. And began to hiss loudly. Naruto panicked as something began to cover him. I won't become food. Naruto growled as his eyes glowed green. I won't. A vortex of wind kicked up and the spider was thrown away. Naruto quickly jumped to his feet. But instead of fighting, ran for it. I can barely see my feet. Fighting in the dark is a shit plan. Naruto must as he jumped onto a tree. Big mistake. His foot got stuck and the momentum sent the blonde spiraling off. All he saw was black. And that was all he would see for the time being. Sun rose the next morning and Goku awoke to an empty camp with silk thread all the way round. Goku sighed. Couldn't keep within the camp's safe zone. Well, guess I can only do is leave him to his fun. Like the spiders killed him already, I would have known. Oh well, guess it's just me and the fishes today. Goku stretched. He picked up all the camping equipment. I'll give him a day or two. Who knows? Giant spiders may be a good training partner. Goku must walking off. That is, if he doesn't come across anything too big like the Theraphosidae. Naruto grumbled as he slowly opened his eyes. A small light shines from the hole above. Must have hit my head and fell through, damn. Naruto grumbled as he stood. His hand resting on the white faint silk. So it wasn't a damn nightmare, it's freaking real. Naruto slowly glanced about his area. He had 2 choices. Climb the hole, or walk down the path. Now, my common sense is telling me to go to Goku and get out of here. But the other part of me is saying that this could be the reason the town is cut off. And more people could be in danger. Naruto sighed. Guess I've got no other choice but to go. But first, I need a weapon. Got to fight back against this 8-legged freaks. Naruto stomped on the floor and a rectangular block hopped up. Naruto's hands blurred and the rock shattered into a thin long rod. Naruto gripped 1/3 down the block with both hands together. A green blaze of chakra appeared and Naruto drew his hands apart. A long brown was pulled away. Naruto grinned. A decent stone blade, if he said so himself. Not he was armed and ready. With it sheathed he made his way into the tunnel. Sadly, he was giving off his location with every step. Time slowed by as Naruto slowly walked the path. He was nervous. The damn things could jump him and he'd only have seconds to fight it off and kill it. He knew what he was looking out for. He just hoped not to find a NY while he was making his way to find anyone still alive. He at least hoped. Naruto froze as he heard something and quickly leaned against the wall. Slowly Naruto could see light forming. This way, humans. Naruto stopped breathing. As a humanoid spider walked by. Its body looked human, save for the 8 hair attachments. Naruto watched as 2 silver-like spiders followed just after, pulling a long thread which was connected to a person's wrists. But it wasn't just one. More like 5 to 10. The ages ranging. Each group had 2 spiders. And a humanoid one behind them. As they passed Naruto sighed with relief. But a hiss got his spine to shiver. He glanced back to the spider, hanging behind him. A click echoed and the cave hole Naruto was in exploded with wind and dust. The group stopped. Attack. The humanoid called as the 4 spiders jumped into the smoke. The sound of something being cut up echoed out. The smoke began to clear, showing a spider's head, only to be held by Naruto's hand. Ah! Naruto flinched, throwing it aside. The two humanoids rushed the blonde, their bodies becoming spider-like as they went at him from above and to his right. Naruto flipped out the way the thread and put his hand to the ground. Spikes struck out and pierced the first one. The second was faster and jumped off his dead companion and went for the grab. Naruto glanced to the creature and flipped away. He gripped his blade and swung. The humanoid jumped again, and as the beast got close, it split in two and fell to Naruto's sides. This didn't stop the greenish goo hitting him. "I'm so having a bath soon," Naruto growled as he went up to the people. "You okay?" Naruto asked. There was a rushed reply of yeses and nos. Some were injured fighting. Naruto quickly thought up a plan. "Okay," Naruto spoke as he began to cut the threads. "There is a path to the outside. If you go the left from here, you'll reach an opening. Please be careful. The forest is full of them and some things are hidden in the ground." "What about you?" a woman asked. "You're going on. You're just a child. This boy just beat what some of the shinobi couldn't." An elder spoke, looking at two ninja. "Child, what is your name?" "It's Gohan." Naruto lied. Best stick with his code name right. "Gohan-chan. I have no doubt there are more people still alive." "How do you know?" Naruto asked as the shinobi began to move the people. "They seem to be gathering them for food. I have no doubt they are working under someone far more dangerous. My guesses are either a female of some sort, or a large male bird eater. Neither are any good to come across. Considering these things' sizes, got any I can know that will keep me alive? Smell is one of the key things for a spider. But these human freakish things don't seem to use the smell. More their hearing. They're not as good with their eyes as a jumper. Now be careful, and save as many as you can." "I will," Naruto said with a nod. As he turned, the old man gripped his arm. "There is one group with children. They seem to be taking off somewhere. No doubt for labor or food for young. The children are the future. The youngest is only a girl not from our land. She is the one I'm most worried for. So head for the nest. Hurry." With that, the old man followed the group. Naruto took a deep breath. "And do it before nightfall," echoed out of the tunnel. Naruto knew he didn't want to find out why. Back on the surface, this tunnel is incredibly hard to break in. The thread is so strong no normal just cuts through. A shinobi spoke, looking to the scientists and other about the area. "We don't have much choice. We have one got so little distance. If only we could just through it. But wind jutsu users will take another day to get here. My daughter could be dead by then. We have to go find another way round," the professor stated. "We have no idea how infested the forest is. Going out there is suicide. We've lost shinobi as well. We can't just go rushing out there. We can only do our best with what we've got here. But if it hits nightfall, spiders will become more active and come hunting. We have to stop this fast. Sir, I know this is hard. But one girl has vanished with nearly 60, 70 to 100 people. This will spread if we don't continue with what we have. You and the rest know what it is we're facing. If you know how they think you know, then the chances she's alive. So just help us before we lose more lives." The professor gave a frustrated sigh. He was in a losing battle. Part of him was hoping his daughter comes out alive from this. Back with Naruto, the blonde was resting down a small tunnel, only just enough for him to fit and still fight if need be. He was looking out on what he could only say to his amazement was a labor camp. The room reminded him of a movie he saw while passing through a town with Goku with their spare time. These things had been at work. And the place Naruto had to face was huge. He could see lots of people being dragged about. His eyes glanced up at the large shape, hanging from the sky. "Got to be the queen. More it, or do you wish to be fed to our queen now?" Quote. Yeah, it was defiantly a queen he was dealing with. Naruto watched as the humanoid spider forced the adult and child apart. "No, I won't let you take my son, you bastards," the woman yelled. The humanoid spider growled as the woman kicked out. With a shove, two large spiders jumped the woman, her screams echoing out as they tore her to shreds. "You want to look like here?" The people froze at the four-eyed glare. "Then get moving, or the next one goes to the queen," was growled out. The thing then pushed the small boy to a companion. "Take him to the nursery. The young will be hatching soon. They'll need all the food they can get. With a nod, the sobbing child was carried away. Naruto knew this was his best chance to follow. He made a hole in the wall and quickly dropped down. Time to put some ninja skills to the test, please work. Henge. Noon of the spiders saw the smoke as they pushed people about, and a small silver spider quickly scampered after the humanoid. Naruto was thankful. With the spider scent he was covered in to block his own. He was in good hands as he slowly followed the guard. He ducked out the way, to dodge the child and things spotting him. After what seemed ages they reached a door. Two humanoids hissed to each other before shoving the child through the door. With that children's cries vanished with it. As the humanoid walked off, Naruto ducked away as he tried to think of a plan. Naruto watched as a spider came round the corner carrying something. Acting fast, the blonde put the spider out for good and quickly took the item. He just hoped it was for that room. He scurried along to the door and looked at Naruto. With a nod the door opened and Naruto looked inside. Enjoy. Being lunch. Naruto was kicked inside before he could react and his henge failed. Damn, I messed up. Naruto grumbled. Who's that? A child spoke. Naruto stood, looking into the darkness. Name's Gohan. I've come to help you. Naruto spoke as children ranging in ages walked up. A brat is he. To save us. I think you must have hit your head. A lad older than Naruto spoke. I'm serious. I've come to get you out. This didn't sit with any of the other old children. Get real. I thought it was someone strong. I'm just going to sit and wait. Maybe they'll not feed us off to their young. Naruto frowned as he got no help. Slowly the children turned back to follow the older ones. I believe him. Naruto blinked as he heard the voice. It was so familiar. Naruto glanced round. He blinked as he saw the face in the light. You're the girl from. The girl looked at Naruto with a sniff. I've missed you, Gohan-kun. The girl yelled and hugging the blonde. It's been so long. I'm happy it's you. Naruto chuckled as he putted the brown-haired girl. Hey, calm down. It's not even been a year. Man, you've grown. Naruto said with a smile. The girl's green eyes stared at Naruto. You came to help us? She asked. Naruto nods. That's why I came here. But I never thought you would be here. I thought you went back to IWA. Dad was called to help study the events in the town. I got caught in. Naruto hushed the girl as she began to cry. Don't worry. I'm just glad you're okay. We'll get out of here. We all will. If you put your trust in me. Naruto said, standing. The old children were not buying it. Got proof? No, but I have the skills. I will only say this. Just continue to go up. And don't look back. Grab anything sharp and defend yourself. And what will you do? The old male asked. I'm going to the queen. And I'm drawing them all there if I can. Naruto said with serious look. Yeah, right. You'll be dead the second you leave. I got here on my own. I'll fight the rest of the way. Now when I get going. Get out of here when you think it's safe. Otherwise those babies they preparing will finish you. The older children gulp. The male scoffed. You better get going then. Naruto nods. Gripping his rock sword. I am. Naruto said walking to the door. I'm coming too. The girl spoke. Naruto glanced to her. No way. This is dangerous. The girl growled. I know that. But I also know that you can get out of this far better if I'm there. I looked at some of Daddy's books on spiders. I know ways past them. Then you're better off with them. Now stand back. Naruto said, standing side on. His right hand pointing out. A guard walked up with something under his arm. Something to help them grow. With a nod the other turned to the door. But at that second the door burst open with wind and the pair were crushed by the wall. Come on. Naruto called as he glanced about. His weapon ready. Get going. They'll focus on the main threat, I'm sure. Naruto said as the children ran past. Don't worry about the adults. They can take care of themselves. Naruto stated as they ran off. The older grabbing the weapons off the humanoids. Naruto was about to go on when his hand was grabbed. He turned to the girl again. What you doing here? Get going. Naruto stated. The girl shook her head. You saved me last time. I want to help you. Naruto shook his head. I didn't ask for you to repay me. He saw the look on the girl's face and sighed. Fine, but I'll piggyback you. He said as he crouched down a bit. Won't I make you slower? Nah. I've carried heavier stuff. You won't do much. The girl quickly jumped on. Naruto stood and saw 4 silver spiders come round the corner. Great. The scouts are here. They're jumping spiders. Their vision is almost as good as ours. Naruto nods and quickly jumped to the wall. At that moment the silver spider jumped at Naruto. With a twist, the blonde kicked the spider in the head and quickly bounced off down the cave, jumping vast distances down the track. The other 3 followed as the 4th got back to its senses. It jumped head first into the wall, and collapsed. All around the cave, a voice rung out. There is an intruder, he must be stopped. Do it for your queen. The humans glanced about, wondering what was going on. Seems we have a threat in the nest, ignore these for now. Our threat is the one heading to the queen. The humanoid nods, only for the male humans to nod and tackle the humanoids. What the humanoid hissed. If someone's fighting, we best give them all the help we can get. This was received by a strong cry of agreement. But it was going to last long. Their bow and bodies made it easy to be knocked down by the jumpers, and at that moment a large beast dropped from the sky. A vast amount of thread covering the humans. Leave that to the humans. We must go to the queen. With Naruto. The tunnel opened up into a large open space. Naruto glanced back to the vast amount of spiders and humanoids swarming out. Shit. Naruto growled. Where are we? Naruto asked. I don't know. I only saw small things. This could be a nest. But it's not the one I was looking at. We're too far from there still. Naruto felt a tug and looked to see a thread attached to his foot. The pair was pulled down. Damn. Naruto growled. This is bad. The girl spoke as Naruto gripped his blade. With a swing the blade bounced off the thread. Naruto growled. It was stronger than what held the prisoners. Don't think so. Naruto said, stopping in the air. And with a tug, pulled the spider at him. With a slash the spider flew 2 ways and Naruto pulled on the thread. I see. Chakra enhanced thread. Look out. The girl yelled as Naruto looked up. With a twist in the air, he released an energy ball at the humanoid and watched it vanish with the blast. Then it became a game of speed. Dodging left and right from spiders and thread. Sakura watching his back and top. Naruto watching the rest. At this rate, we'll be trapped. Naruto grunted as he dodged another thread. I know that, but it's getting hard to dodge. Naruto roared as he moved back. Only for the girl to stick. Gohan. Naruto turned to the girl, only to be caught by a thread. This was followed by more till his body was almost covered. The girl panicked as Naruto became a wild blob of webbing. No. The girl yelled as the spiders jumped for the kill. Time seemed to slow as wind instantly picked up. A raging vortex of wind sliced everything around the two. The rock dome cracked under the wind's pressure and fell down. Below, the girl screamed as the webbing was cut and she fell with the rubble. Naruto appeared seconds later, appearing from rock to rock and grabbing the girl and vanishing. The rocks melting into the lava. Below, Naruto sighed as he glanced back. Man, that was close. He pulled the girl back onto his back. No more messing around. We go right to the source. With that Naruto took off into the sky. You can fly. The girl yelped. Naruto chuckled as he spun. I've gotten stronger in the months since. And you've not seen everything yet. Naruto yelled as he landed with a crouch on the side of the large nesting case. A large thud got Naruto's attention and the blonde stood to face his foe. The girl gripped tight to Naruto's body, so not to fall while they hung upside down. She looked up and gasped. Therapsoidea. In English, Tarantula. Naruto slowly stepped back from the large spider. Did you read into this one? A little. This one grabbed my attention. And I was reading on that the most. Watch out for the legs, they have claws. Gotcha. Naruto crouched as the spider hissed. And watch out for its hair. It can cause string itching. It's defense for these spiders. Naruto nods. Anything else? They had 2 rows of 4 eyes. Okay then. Let's make this quick then. How? Not even the sword can cut it deep enough. Naruto smirked. You see, while you've been talking. Spider here, has been listening it seems. More interested in your knowledge of his great abilities. Naruto then slid his foot back. And now that you've given me enough time. Bye-bye. Naruto said, stomping the nest. The ground cracked and shattered. A roar echoed out as the pair watched the spider fall into the lava. Only to swing away. Damn, so close, let's go, Naruto said as they climbed inside. So, you got this far into the nest. Just a mere child, Naruto set Sakura down as they stood on the slant of the wall. That's right, a mere boy got in and defeated you eight-legged freaks. A deep hiss echoed out. The female voice spoke. Then let me show you the true power of us, freaks. Naruto froze as something blitzed the sides of the nest and snatched the girl from behind him. The deep growl echoed from behind as the girl's scream echoed as the spider flipped and landed ceiling. Naruto looked up and faced his foe. Six Eyes looked back to his two. The girl whimpered as she was lowered down by a thread of silk. Remain calm. I'll get you down. You will have to beat my best, if you can. Naruto growled as he looked for the voice. Prepare to fight. Naruto turned to the deep voice of the faster humanoid. Naruto saw from the glint of light, battle clothing, and some kind of weapon. The beast jumped to the side and Naruto quickly jumped as well. Both bounced off the walls opposite and Naruto drew his fist back. He leaned under the three strong fists and drove his right into the thing's gut. It flew back and Naruto flew up to the girl. The creature bounced back and engulfed Naruto in 8 to 10 arms. Naruto growled as he held back the hissing, biting face. Fuck off. Naruto growled as a burst of wind pushed the pair apart. Naruto landed and flipped back as a thread of webbing hit his spot. The creature rapidly ran across the wall. Small blasts of webbing shot out and Naruto jumped out the way, only to be hit full on and stuck against the wall. The humanoid landed on him and Naruto grunted as he tried to fight. The beast drew his double-ended sword staff and brought it up. Naruto tensed his muscles as he gathered his energy. The young girl saw the attack and screamed. Gohan. As she yelled, a seal appeared on her head and glowed. A-bar. Rear formed between the blade and Naruto. What? Naruto smirked at that. Thanks. Naruto's Kai flared and with a roar, blasted the thread and the humanoid off him. The beast hissed as it landed and looked at the girl. The seal fading and the girl going limp where she hang. I'll deal with you now. With that it raced up the wall side. Naruto crouched and flared his Kai. The blonde vanished and skidded in front of the humanoid. This is the end of you, Naruto stated as his arms gathered wind. Feel the power of my new technique. Naruto roared as he brought his arms up and crossed them. Kato. Ken. Naruto yelled as he swung his arms out. Wind slicing in waves down his arms. Naruto rushed forward at the humanoid. The creature drew his weapon to block Naruto's fist. But it sliced clean and through and Naruto delivered a powerful kick to the beast's gut. Naruto skidded back around and pushed forward. Take this. The Shippuken's most power attack. Naruto roared as he pulled his fist back. Raging Pseudo Mew. Naruto yelled as he skidded past. The Kadoken faded in a small twister and Naruto remained still as the humanoid screeched and faded in shards of flesh into the wind. Naruto stood in a small twister of wind formed round the girl and carried her over to Naruto. Okay. You've had you fun. Now come face me. Naruto roared. A light chuckle echoed out from every place. Naruto glanced about. My. You are strong, aren't you? Too strong for my slowly evolving kind. I have no choice but to run for now. Naruto stumbled as the ground shook. Wind whipped up and Naruto saw he was falling. My people will cross paths with you again. Gohan, once we have evolved to a point I believe my children can beat you, but with last attempt, perish. All around, spiders began running. Others began to hiss and turn to smoke. People felt the thread fade off their bodies. And it was then that they noticed the roof coming apart. Naruto looked to the closing lava. May we meet again, so I may see you in person next time. With that the nest hit the lava. The roof burst open and Naruto came flying up to the edge. Naruto looked up and jumped to the side. The girl resting in his arms as he dodged the falling rock. People were yelling in panic as they made their way to the outside. Naruto used his powers to stop large falling rocks on people. As he got close to a bridge, he found people stuck for it had collapsed. With all his power, Naruto formed a bridge of earth, and held it with all his strength as people ran across. Only then did he follow with a great leap. Naruto was beginning to tire. Everything has been too much for him and even his stamina was shrinking away. He took a breath as he helped the last to the tunnel. He turned to follow, but he stopped. It was faint, but he heard a yell. He turned back to the collapsing cave. He had no choice but to go back out there. He turned to the escaping people. He wouldn't have time to get one to take the girl with him and go and find this person. And he couldn't leave her. A fallen rock will kill her. So with a burst of Kai, Naruto took off out over the now rising lava. Hello, anyone out there? Naruto called out as he dodged falling rocks. Hello, help. Naruto turned in the direction and landed on the ground. He was spent. He didn't have much time left. Help someone, anyone. Naruto looked up to see a boulder. An arm waving through a gap. Naruto quickly ran up. Hang on, I'll get you out. Hard. Naruto roared as the rock shattered. The smoke faded and a woman stumbled out. She was in bad shape. What happened? Naruto asked. Rock fell in front of me. No one could hear my yells. Naruto grunted as he helped her up. Be thankful I did somehow. Naruto looked to the falling rocks and the slowly rising lava. He glanced to the girl on his back. Then to the woman. He couldn't get them out by flying with them. He had to act fast. I need you to carry this girl. I'll make the pathway and get you two out. That's my top priority. The woman nods and takes the girl. Naruto gathered his energy and took to the air. Let's go. Outside, Goku watched from a treetop as Shinobi and other pay. Opal raced to the large plume of smoke from the cave breaking in. Best hurry up, Naruto. You don't have much time. Goku must before following. Back inside, Naruto was kicking rocks left and right. He pair had climbed the pathway as fast as possible, and there was only a large gap left. Naruto landed. This was it. The last of power goes to this. He clasped his palms together and thumped them to the floor. A stone bridge shot out. Hurry! Naruto panted as the bridge chipped. Go now. Do you want all of us to die? The woman jumped and ran across. The second Naruto's hand left the floor, the bridge shattered. Naruto glanced to the closing lava. He's got no choice. With unsteady feet, Naruto took a long run up. Arg! Naruto roared as he jumped. Seconds seemed to take minutes as Naruto jumped. His arm out to the ledge. His fingers reached the ledge, only for it to shatter. Naruto could only close his eyes as he waited for the lava to take his life. But it didn't happen. A tug on his arm and the blonde looked up to the woman. She had the blonde held tight and pulled him up. A smile on their faces as the blonde climbed up. But neither wasted time as the woman picked up the girl and they raced for the hole. As they passed through, a large rock fell, cutting the lava off from them. Naruto panted and glanced back. He hoped it would be years before he entered another hell-like world like that again, a long time. The pair trekked the trail, following the cool rushing air that would lead them to an opening. A groan from the girl got their attention. Where are we? What's going on? Did we make it? She asked as she slowly woke. Naruto blinked. You don't remember. It was too dark to see what the girl was doing. Luckily he got a reply. All I remember was yelling your name, then nothing. Naruto took a short breath. Best she doesn't remember. Her power will only lead to trouble for her, which she doesn't need. I can walk now, thank you, the girl said as she was let down. The three walked in darkness till they reached a light shaft. Slowly, one by one they climbed. Shadows loomed over the opening. Hey, there's more survivors. One yelled as the woman, and then the girl, and then Naruto was helped out. Are there any more? The lightning shinobi asked Naruto. The blonde shook his head. That's all that could. Naruto muttered. He would have a hard time getting the eaten and crushed people out his mind. Is my daughter here? The professor yelled out as Naruto looked at the man. Daddy, the young girl yelled, running up. Naruto smiled at the reunited pair, only for a hand to rest on his shoulder. I'm so glad you're safe, the professor said. The girl smiled. It was all thanks to Gohan-kun. He saved everyone, and defeated them too. The professor chuckled. Then I must thank him. Where is he? The girl turned. He's gone. The girl muttered, looking about. The professor looked about. Gohan, he called. No reply. I guess I'll have to thank him another time. Should we ever meet again, that is. Oi. Get some people down that shaft. See if you can find anything to study from this. The professor called to the shinobi. The girl glanced about. Gohan-kun, She sighed with a smile. Thank you. I see a great future for that lad. The old man said with a smile to himself. I just know it. Elsewhere. Two figures walked down a path pasted the town. It will take us out a day to get to the temple, why not fly? You've wasted a day, Naruto. Naruto shook his head. No way, Oji-san. I need to get stronger. Flying will not do a thing. Goku chuckled as he patted Naruto on the head. Good to hear. Humans, your species has reached its end. Where you have failed to evolve, others have. And slowly my kind will rise to claim this land. You may fight if you wish and try and evolve past our level. But it's only a matter of time before you see you can evolve no more. A new age is dawning, one where your species will fade away and another will become dominate to this world. Up above the pair, a bird watched on, but slowly from the darkness, 4 arms stretched out, and the bird vanished into the darkness. Kimi wa kimi dake shika inai yo kawari nanti hoka ni ananda care nidichuran no hana. Hikari ga matamo ni sashikoma ni kimi. Marud hikaj ni saita hana no unazan da hazu ya naka tta basho ni ne harasarit yugokazu ni irun da ne. Toji kaketa kamochi hakita seba e. Atami mo karushi mi mo subit wo ukatomaru yo dakara naka nide warat ite ichiran no hanaima ni mo karat shime su na kimi. Mujiki na sugata ga mo ichido midakut kimi no chikara ni naratanda. Tato kimi igai no subit no hito wo teki ni mawasu toki ga kite mo kimi no koto mamori nukukara. You should notice that there is no other. You should notice that there is no next time. You should notice that there is no other. You should notice that there is no next time. Notice that you should notice that. Notice that there's no other. Kimi wa kimi dake shika inai yo ima made mo korakara sake ni mo. Tato kimi igai no subit no hito wo teki ni mawasu. Toki ga kite mo kimi no koto mamori nuku kara make nidichuran no hana. You should notice that there is no other. You should notice that there is no next time. You should notice that there is no other. You should notice that there is no next time. Notice that you should notice that. Notice that there's no other. So that was it for my first movie. Not much longer than a chapter. Now this is not canon add-on. It's filler with info. _. The Kadoken, a move made by Matt Wilson 83 for Naruto in his Naruhina manga. I didn't ask him, but I'm sure he'll be happy with the fact people love his ideas and use them. Right, and who was the girl I did so hard to keep her name hidden? Seriously, I kept fecking up every now then. She will play a part in the future. Part 2, The Path of the Warrior. And one last note, this move is going to be one of 3, but not all together. And what made this movie, you wonder? 8-legged freaks and then Gears of War popped up. Not bad. Tell me what you think. Emerald Kingdom. A.N. Info not put into series yet will come up in this. So some questions will be answered. Others, not. Enjoy. Some time ago. Good night, my lord. A light flickered on in the castle. Good night. The door closed, showing a red and white gowned male with a brown beard. He yawned as he walked to his king-sized bed. He was the king of the Emerald Kingdom. 2 children in line for the throne, though both were stubborn and wanted the line first. Kids. A creak echoed and the king froze. Who's there? He glanced up to the bathroom door. He looked at the darkness. A figure walked into the light. What are you doing here? A blade flicked to life in the cloaked figure's grasp. I see. Then that's what will be. You won't s. UCCEED. The figure rushed the king and a yell echoed out. My lord. The door burst open and the guards gasped. My lord. As we zoom away from the castle, the kingdom, a chuckle echoed out. The kingdom will be mine. Naruto's path. The Emerald Kingdom, reaching up for no man _s land. To take a breath and take a chance. I walk 1,000 nights to change the world. Where to go, when to stop, who to trust, what to say. Found them all. Just need someone to share it _s now in the dusk every day to everyone ain't _t so strong. I ain't _t so strong to go. Living in life is it _s not the way to live. I wish you could hear me say that I miss you. Why were we there back to back? Why were we there face to face? I must be the light when you _re in the dark. If you lose me somewhere, and your tears are in the eye, I will ring a bell until you feel me by your side. Looking up into the sky, looking for the reason why I am here, and why you can T be here, who s to hate. Who s to blame. Who s to hurt. Who s to love. Who decides why we can T we be the same. Try to believe walking down the lonesome road ain't T so far, I ain't T so far from you. Staying the way you are means solitude. I wish you were here and shook of. F my fear, why were we there back to back? Why were we there face to face? I must be the light when you re in the dark. If I lose you somewhere, and I am still hanging in there, I will ring a bell until you feel me by your side. What has been in the mix too long? There s the peace when you re at war, heads or tails, you and I. Light and dark, ups and downs. What has been in the mere goal? What s there to divide us? If you re hurt, cry and say can t you see your might of the heart, why were we there back to back? Why were we there face to face? I must be the light when you re in the dark. If you lose me somewhere, and your tears are in the air, I will ring a bell until you feel me by your side. XX. Sakura sighed as she lay on the hillside. She looked at the red bell in between her fingers as she held it above her head. Genpaku stood off to the side training with his Kodachi. He glanced over. What's that? Sakura glanced over as Genpaku waked over. Sakura looked to the bell as she lay there. Something To-san gave me when I was young. Genpaku crouched down and looked at the bell. Really? Genpaku asked, sitting beside her. Sakura nods. Genpaku plucked the bell from Sakura's hand. What's so special about it? Give me that, Sakura yelled as she took it from Gen's hands. Sakura sighed as she looked at it. It used to be my Ka-san's. Genpaku saw the sad look and frowned. Sorry. Sakura held it above her head. To-san gave it to me when I turned 7. He said it used to be his Ka-san's and he gave it to my Ka-san. It was said it would help guide those close to you back from where they go. Where, in a sense. Sakura shook her head. I don't know, but he said should someone get lost, the bell brings them back. It's sort of a riddle with a meaning. Genpaku nods slowly. Still don't get it. Sakura sighed. Oi. Both glanced to Naruto at the top of the hill. Come on, I've got food ready. Both quickly followed. The team was sitting in an open field as they traveled the vast land round them. They were enjoying a break before meeting their client for their next mission. Great. Genpaku muttered. More ramen. He watched as Sakura and Naruto eat theirs with gusto. These two, he sighed as ate his food. He really had to get something better. So where from here, Naruto-kun? Sakura asked as the blonde summoned a clone and it pulled out the map. Naruto finished high-s ramen and threw a chopstick at the map. There, since it will take 4 days to reach our client, we'll stop through here. The Emerald Kingdom for supplies. Naruto said as he picked up the map. Emerald Kingdom, huh? Genpaku asked as he put his food down. God, he hated ramen. So what's so great about the kingdom? Naruto reached into his pouch. It's supposed to be a great place for metal trades, plus they sell unique gems. I want to send some friend of mine in Konoha something nice. Let's see. Hinata-san. Tsunade Obaa-chan. Shizune-chan. Sakura-chan. Ho. Naruto glanced to Sakura and grinned. Oh yeah. I didn't tell you about my friends much, did I? Sakura-chan's my sister in Konoha. She's Kushina Namikaze's incarnate. Sakura blinked. He never did mention that, must have skipped it. Geez. 2 incarnates. Well, not really incarnates, more adult brats. Naruto scowled. Well, Sakura doesn't even know she's Kushina, I don't think. She'll ever know. It's better this way. So we do. NT have to know about the truth. She's better off as she is, Naruto muttered as he clenched his fist. Sakura looked to Naruto's fist. Naruto-kun. But no matter. Naruto said with a grin. Let's get going. With that he summoned 5 clones and sealed the small camp away. As the team walked off, Sakura continued to look at the blonde's back. Genpaku walked along quietly in thought. The team traveled till they reached a small hill. Naruto grinned as Sakura gasped in awe. Genpaku whistled. Whoa! The 3 looked on at the large kingdom. As they reached the gate they noticed something wrong. On the left the guards wore red bands on their right. And the guards on the right wore blue bands on the left. The red with the kanji for princess. The left with the kanji for prince. What the? Naruto muttered as they walked up. Welcome to the Emerald Kingdom, the 4 guards spoke. The 2 groups glanced to each other. Naruto sensed tension. Thanks. I'm Naruto Uzumaki, this is Sakura Kinum. Oto and this is Genpaku Shichirobe. What's going on with the? Naruto asked pointing at the bands. The Prince SS killed the king. Both parties yelled. Naruto blinked in confusion. The princess killed the king. The 2 in the blue arm band laughed. No. The red banded ones yelled. We said the prince killed the king. The team blinked. The hell was going on? As the 2 groups argued, the team walked into the kingdom. The team walked quietly along as they glanced left and right. Something seemed even odder. Get your gifts from our stands in hail of our loyal prince. The team glanced left. No. The team glanced right to an exactly same store. Buy here for beautiful princess. Heir the throne. Go to hell. She did it and you know it. The team glanced left. You go to hell yourself. The selfish brat did it. The pair rushed from their stalls and battled it out in front of the group. Naruto sighed. Oi! Naruto yelled, stopping the ground and bouncing the men apart. They quickly scurried past each other and to their one side. Just what the hell is going on? Naruto growled as both sides began to argue. Enough! Naruto yelled as wind whirled up. Will someone please speak some sense? Naruto sighed as they argued again. Sod it! Naruto muttered as he walked on. Let's try elsewhere. With that the group walked on as the fights waged in the street. Mendokusai. Naruto sighed. A light chuckle brought the team's attention. You seem as annoyed by all this as I am, a cloaked figure muttered as he walked from the alley. Naruto didn't like this feeling. Yeah, can you help? The figure chuckled before looking to the castle. Just over a week ago, the king was murdered, by either the prince or princess, to take the throne, Naruto snorted. I doubt it was either of them, why would they? The figure chuckled. See, it's not this simple. They're twins, one of them will take the throne, but neither knows who, Naruto sighed. So, what's with this inner war? Naruto asked. The figure chuckled and turned to leave. Whoa, hold up, where you going? The figure vanished into the darkness. Naruto scowled. His presence vanished. I don't like him, I best be careful. Naruto turned to his friends. Let's go, Naruto said walking forward. We're heading to the castle. Naruto said walking off. We'll get our answers there. With that they were off. Sadly, on other hand, they only got more arguing. The 3 could only stare blank-faced as on one side and the other of the hall. The prince and princess argued. It was beginning to get on everyone's nerves. Enough! Naruto yelled and the prince and princess stopped. Naruto sighed. I've decided something from this, Naruto growled. With that he turned his back to them. I'm getting out of here. Nani! Both yelled. Wait! The princess yelled. Naruto! I've heard of you in our land. I don't want you to leave with a murder in the castle. So, Naruto spoke. Sakura and Genpaku glanced to Naruto. What's this got to do with me? Baka! The prince yelled. You want to leave here when there's a murder in the castle, my life's at stake. You saying I'm going to kill you. Good cover up, the princess stated. Naruto sighed and walked off as they argued. The sound vanished as the door shut. Damn it! Let's go, our client awaits. Naruto said walking. Sakura stopped and Naruto stopped some distance on and looked back. What's wrong? Sakura glanced down. Hey, come now, why won't you help them? Sakura asked. You seem to know something and you don't want to help them sort this out. They're family, brothers and sisters shouldn't fight, Sakura spoke calmly. Why will you not help them? Naruto sighed as he put his hands in his pockets. This isn't our trouble, it'll sort itself out, Naruto stated as he closed his eyes. But, excuse me, the team glanced back to a maid. Why you are Naruto Uzumaki, the Akakain no Naruto. Naruto turned to the maid. Of course, the maid gasped in joy. Then you're Tsuchi Taihosha, she said pointing at Sakura. And you're Genikazuchi. Genpaku nods. Thank goodness. I wasn't sure when I heard you'd entered the castle, your names popped up around the land. Please, You have to help the prince and princess. The three blinked. They may fight a lot, but they care for each other. They remind me of my family. I don't want to see family Lee like this. The death of the king has hit them hard. Please, help them. Sakura glanced to Naruto. The blonde smirked. Okay, we'll help, Naruto stated. Arigato. The maid spoke with a smile. Please, Ace, allow me to get you rooms. I won't inform the prince or princess. It's better this way, in order to keep them safe, so you can help them. Naruto nods. Very well, Naruto stated. But, I'm doing it because you're speaking far better than they are. It's not for them, Naruto stated, walking off. Sakura frowned. The night came and Sakura stood at her window. They had all been given a separate room. Naruto-kun, Sakura muttered. This isn't our trouble. It'll sort itself out. Sakura leaned on the window. A scream rung out and Sakura looked out the window to the princess's room. A figure dashing from the room. Sakura shoved her window open. Hero, let's go, Sakura yelled, pulling her key out. The key turned into the staff as Sakura jumped. Fly. With that she gave chase. She what? Ched as a second figure dashed from the prince's room. Sakura took off into the sky to evade being seen. Find the assassin now, the soldiers roared as they searched the castle. As they ran past the rooms, Genpaku and Naruto peeked through the door. Genpaku, stay here, I'm going to Sakura to see if she spotted anything. Genpaku nods. If you get found, well, let's just hope they don't kill you first. Genpaku smirked. Funny, he muttered as Naruto vanished. XX. Sakura, Naruto asked as he appeared in her room. He glanced about. Naruto sighed as he closed his eyes. Kyuubi, Naruto ate as he spoke into the darkness of his mind. Slowly his mind formed the image, Sakura flying through the darkness. I see, Naruto muttered as his kai flared and he vanished. Wind howled as Sakura flew across the sky. She'd just been able to keep up with the pair with their speed on foot. She watched them rush into a cave and quickly landed. Hiro and Sakura glanced to each other before rushing in. It's so dark, Sakura whispered as she stumbled in the dark. She saw a light form and stopped as a loud cackle echoed out. Excellent. Sakura glanced over the rock to see a figure in a cloak. Sakura gasped. It was the same male that spoke to them in the street. This will definitely force the pair to go to war. Sakura dropped down behind the rock and listened. Them stupid brats think Thayer did it. It couldn't have worked any better for me, and once they've killed each other in battle, if not weakened each other, I'll kill them and take the throne for myself. The figure roared and laughed. This will teach my foolish brother, Sakura gasped as she covered her mouth. He didn't see the power he had round him, all that power, and he wasted it. Hey, I'll step forward and take the throne, and then, when it's strong again, we'll wipe out the lands around us. And make this kingdom truly great. Sakura slowly began to creep away, she had to tell them. But, first we have to deal with a rat. Sakura's eyes widened before a bright light shone. The explosion filled the tunnel as the cloaked figure chuckled and clasped his palms together. A seal formed on the cave-in. Just in case Hat Rat fits the gaps too easily. No one will break my seal. As he laughed in his victory, Sakura lay in the darkness of the cave-in, out cold to the world, hero unknown in the cave. XX. That does it. He thinks he can do this to me. Rokudanashi. The princess roared. Genpaku sighed. I don't want to ask it. But, he looked to Prince on the other side of the room. Why are they speaking about they're in the same room as if they're not here. That Mesu tried to kill me in my room. That does it. Genpaku sighed. We go to war. Both yelled. Genpaku blinked. What? Genpaku yelled. You heard me. I'm not letting the Rokumedenswashi get away with this. Both yelled before leaving the room. Genpaku sighed. What do I do now? He asked as he slumped his shoulders. Naruto. You better hurry up. As dawn came, Sakura slowly began to awaken in the cave. Slowly she began to get up. I'm alive. All thanks to me, of course. Sakura gasped and looked behind her. Naruto sat grinning as he waved his right arm. Yo. Sakura slowly glanced to the blonde's left and looked at Naruto's arm trapped under the rubble. Naruto-kun. Naruto glanced down. This. Oh, it's nothing. Just I can't seem to move my left arm is all. Seems the wall's sealed, Naruto said looking up at the wall. But don't worry. Kyuubi numbed the pain and all. Naruto stopped as Sakura began to cry. Hey now. Don't worry about me. I'm not. Naruto blinked. Sakura turned to the wall behind her. They're going to die, Sakura said as she drops to her knees. That cloaked figure from yesterday, he wants the throne and is killing of his relatives to do it for power, Naruto sighed as he looked at Sakura. No family is perfect, Naruto muttered. I just don't want it to happen. I don't want them to kill each other or get killed. Siblings, Sakura muttered as she closed her eyes. They may fight or annoy one another, Sakura muttered as her own images played through her mind. But not like this. Tears fell and Naruto looked to his arm. He sighed as his arm glowed. His arm slid from the gap and he looked at the cuts. He stood and stepped up beside the girl. Sakura looked up as Naruto stuck his hand to the wall. His hand glowed and the wall exploded. Naruto-kun, Sakura muttered as she looked to the blonde. Naruto glanced to Sakura and held out his right to Sakura. He smiled. Come on, Naruto said as he pulled Sakura up. We have a brother and sister to sort out. Sakura smiled. Arigato Naruto-kun. The pair smiled and Sakura gasped as Naruto's kai flared and they vanished. As we roll back time. We reach an open field and two forces standing either side. Both forces filled the brim with weapons for combat. Please, don't do this, Genpaku begged the princess. Naruto's finding out the answer. I already know the answer. I don't need his proof now. I will deal with my brother one way now, Genpaku sighed. Just don't kill each other. I won't hold a promise to that. With that she clasped her palms together and they glowed. Genpaku stumbled back. Oh boy, she knows magic. He glanced to the prince's side and sighed. Both knew magic. Genpaku watched as a magic aura covered the pair. Oh crap. Genpaku glanced left and looked to the sun rising. Attack. Genpaku blinked, to sudden and with no warning, the hell. Genpaku coughed as they rushed forward. Genpaku sighed and walked off. I'm not sitting around to be caught in this. The battle raged on and Genpaku sighed as he walked off and stood to look at the bloodbath. Genpaku huffed and sat down on the hill as soldiers roared and battle cries could be heard. Yells of pain and death echoed. Ouch. Looked nasty that one. Wonder if he'll get by with. No, looks like he won't be getting by at all after that. He glanced to his left as Naruto and Sakura ran up. Damn it. Naruto growled as Sakura stumbled forward. Her eyes wide as she looked left and right. We're too late. Naruto clenched his fist. As he watched two orbs in red and blue collide. That does it. Naruto stepped forward as Sakura dropped to her knees. Sakura. No. Sakura muttered. She clenched her fist as tears formed. Stop it. She muttered. Stop it. She yelled out as the battle raged on. Naruto put his hand on Sakura's shoulder. Don't worry. I'll stop this. Naruto said vanishing. Sakura watched as Naruto dashed forward into the battlefield. Naruto got in close and kicked the first knight closest down. He jumped and kicked the next color aside. Some stopped and looked to the blonde. Naruto glared and jabbed his elbow back as one tried to strike with an axe from behind. Naruto leaned back and kneed the handle of the axe before twisting and kicking the axe out. The knights jumped aside as Naruto began to walk into the area. Knights stopped and began to walk back as the blonde's form glowed. Arg! The princess yelled as she fired off a black fireball. The prince reacted with the same move and both attacks exploded. Stop this! Naruto yelled as he appeared to the side. The small line stood quietly as soldiers began to stop. This is not how to settle this. Stop the fighting! Naruto yelled. He glanced to his left and swung his right arm out and deflected a fireball. Stay out of this. She will pay. The prince roared. You're right, he'll pay. Watched as the paid flew back and summoned red and yellow energy. Naruto rushed forward. I said. Naruto swung his arms out and caught the attacks. Stop. Naruto yelled as the attacks exploded. The fool. Both yelled in thought as the dust covered the area. Black energy rushed into the air and everyone began to stop. It stopped. Genpaku muttered. Sakura stood. What? Something's wrong. Sakura muttered. She then rushed forward. Something's wrong with Naruto-kun. Genpaku stood and followed. Get out the way please. Sakura yelled as knights jumped in surprise. Sorry. Genpaku spoke as the knight got shoved aside. I'm not as polite. The pair forced their way through and came to a stop. The ground one spot was pitch black. Genpaku sighed as he looked at the figure. God damn it. Sakura stood looking at the black figure. Naru, too. The black figure hit the floor with a thud. Naruto. Sakura yelled, running over and skidded beside him as Naruto lay on his front. Naruto, you okay? Sakura called. She got no response. Naruto. Don't worry. He's alive, the prince spoke. He was not looking to the pair but at the ground. But he may as well be dead. Sakura stood. She was about to ask when the princess spoke from behind. To put it simple, he won't be waking up, she muttered. Not after the last attack. Genpaku clenched his fist. What the hell did you two do? The pair looked away. Oi you brats. Don't cower now. You two did something. Now what did you do? It wasn't meant for him. Both spoke, but both pointed to their sibling. They didn't know what to think right now. We used a magic we learnt in our spare time when we were younger, the prince began. Infinite darkness, the princess stated. One hit by this attack will fall into a semi-endless sleep. One can normally be brought out. But he got hit with two, the prince sighed. He's not coming out, and it's all your fault. The prince yelled, pointing at his sister. If you had just, oh will you come off it? You did it. Genpaku clenched his fist. Shut up. The two blinked as they looked to Sakura. Her head tilted and looking at the blonde. Please, just shut up. Neither of you did it. Neither of you did it all right. Sakura yelled. Her form shook as she cried. We know who did it. Naruto-kun was trying to stop it. More for me, I didn't want to see siblings fight, but... Sakura rested her forehead on the blonde's back. Because of me. Because of you. Sakura cried and the prince and princess just stood there. Naruto-kun. Wake up. Please, come back, Sakura muttered. Genpaku sighed as he walked up, but stopped as he noticed something. Sakura's pocket was glowing. He could see the shape clearly. Like a bell. Chu-san gave it to me when I turned 7. He said it used to be his Ka-san's and he gave it to my Ka-san. It was said it would help guide those close to you back from where they go. Where, in a sense. Sakura shook her head. I don't know, but he said should some get lost, the bell brings them back. It's sort of a riddle with a meaning. Genpaku nodded slowly. Then, Genpaku watched quietly. Let's just hope it can do what I think it's doing, Genpaku mused as he looked to Sakura. Deep in the darkness of Naruto's soul, Naruto was suspended in darkness. His body laying there. Just beyond him the gates appeared. Seems we didn't expect everything, did we Gaki? Hey. Such a world like that out there, even I, the greatest of them all, did not expect to sit in this endless darkness. How ironic, the fox growled as it looked onward. His ears twitched. Nani, the fox muttered as a white pulse echoed out. It finished at Naruto's form. Naruto-kun. The fox looked up into the darkness. Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle, the fox smirked. That girl's incredibly strong, and I couldn't do this much to this darkness. The fox watched as cracks formed in the darkness. Quote, hey, no matter where you are in the dark, there's always a way to come back to the light. Let's get you out of here, boy. The fox's kai flared to life and it pulsed out with a roar. Sakura noticed light as she sat up. Naruto's form was glowing white. Ho. Slowly the black mass began to fade. No way, the princess muttered. She broke the spell, the prince stated in awe as Naruto form gained its color. Naruto. Slowly Naruto's form moved with a grunt. Naruto pushed up to his knees and blonde could only blink as his color returned. What? He didn't get to finish as Sakura tackled the blonde. He lay on his back blinking as Sakura cried. Sakura. What's wrong? And nothing. I'm just happy as all. Sakura said with a smile. Naruto glanced about to Genpaku who was smirking. Why? He had no idea. What are you fools doing? You're supposed to be killing each other. Everyone looked to the cloaked figure. You. He yelled, point at the girl. How you get out? That's him. Sakura called. He killed the king. What? Both siblings yelled. Both growled as their magic SPR to life and rushed the cloaked figure. Hey. Perfect. I'll finish you now. He palmed his hands together and a large golem appeared. Perish. The golem swung and knocked the pair aside. Nai. TS attacked with no effect as Naruto pushed to his feet. Sakura stood by the blonde as the blonde Naruto cupped his hands forward and began to draw them back. Me. The golem glanced down as the Aked figure summoned energy into his hand. Not so fast. The cloaked figure roared, firing a magic sphere. Sakura summoned her staff. Shadow. Sakura yelled as the black mass shot and connected with the energy, which exploded. The cloaked figure blinked. No way. This girl. Sakura glared as her forehead glowed. The cloaked figure realized he'd not focused on the true danger. Naruto roared as he leaned back as the blue beam fired and hit the golem in full force. The cloaked figure yelled as he faded into the beam. As it faded, Naruto fell on his backside and took a breath. Genpaku sat down. You had us worried. Naruto turned to the lightning user. Naruto smirked and gave a thumbs up. Sakura stood before the blonde as Naruto smiled, and Sakura returned to smile. Glad that her Bond hero was not gone just yet. Due to how poor I thought this movie came out, no ending song really fits it. It could have been done so much better. Oh well, what's done is done. I still love my second movie. It's the best yet. Anyway, I'm glad to be up to date and now beginning chapter 20. So to all those who've waited for this, I too am disappointed with how it came out. T_T. Moment in time. AN. I really hope you guys enjoy this. It's really fun doing. Seriously, I really think this could be the best movie chapter I've done since The Web of Destruction. Oh, and if anyone hasn't put 2 and 2 together. The girl was Sakura. Enjoy. Also, who can guess where I decided this little tidbit XD? Time. In the midst of endless darkness, dust began to rise from the ground as wind blew along and dragged the brown dust with it. As a living, breathing thing. Powerful, beautiful, oftentimes cruel, it can humble the strongest armies. Battle cries and clashes could be heard as the dust ripple in bends and spikes. Shape mountains to its will, and turn entire oceans to dust. The dust vanished in a burst of wind before settling on the ground. But time itself is not free from jeopardy. There are those seek to control it and suit their own purpose. A loud thud echoed as tall pole ruptured the dust and moved with incredible speed. But as long as there's people like me, zooming from the blank canvas, you find it to be a book of blank paper, a figure in a white cloak writing away. Events will never occur. Who am I? The figure glances back and shatters into dust. Path to a warrior. Moment in time. Whoa. Sakura gasped as she and Naruto walked the small path on the island their ship had stopped at to resupply. Look at all the monkeys. Sakura chirped, as the primates jumped from branch to branch. It's nice. Naruto smiled lightly. Reminds me of my Oji-san. Naruto muttered as a small monkey landed on his shoulder. I really miss him. He was so kind to me when I was younger. Naruto sighed as the monkey ran off. I'd love to go back, spend more time, or even stop him from dying that day. Sakura looked at the blonde who seemed anything but happy. Naruto-kun. Naruto looked up with and smiled. You okay? Naruto nods. Of course. Naruto must as he walked along. Come on. Our friends are waiting at the ship most likely. We've wasted time now with the chimps. Sakura nods and jogs along. Kono omoi wo keshite shimau ni wa mata jinsei nagai desho. Yarinoko shiteru koto yarineo shite midai kara. Yumi no Suzuki oikakit ita hazu nano ni m. Agarikuneta hosoi michi hito ni sumazuku onyo koro mitai ni tte midoritai wakejanai no nakushite kita sora wo sagashiteru wakatakermasu yu ni jisei ni nata yu na kanashi kao wa yamate yo. Sumi. No saigo wa namita janai yo zudo karushiku sho tte kunda deguchi mianai kanju miru ni dare wo mataru no. Shiroi no to ni suzuta yu ni mato sunao ni hakidashitai yo nani kara nogaredanda, genjutsu tte yatsu. Kanairu tame ni ikaiterundat sakebitaku naru yo kikota masu ka. Bunin ni nanti yatararanai kara, keru basho mo nai no. Yasashisa niwa itsumo kansha shitaru dakara suyoku naratai, I'm on the way. Natsukashiku Naru Kana Atami mo Kanjei Jan the 20th. As the pair walked back to the ship, Sakura focus was fully on the blonde's back. She was too distracted to see where she was going and knocked into a white-cloaked figure. G. Gomen. Sakura called and blinked to find the figure gone. Sakura glanced about before deciding not to bother trying to figure out what just happened and followed the blonde up to the ship. As they began to board, Sakura decided to ask once more. Naruto-kun. Naruto glanced to Sakura as the ship set up ready to sail. You okay? Naruto nods. Yeah, just thinking of the past. Sakura frowned. She remembered what he told her that first day they met. Come on, let's go. Naruto spoke with a grin and the pair boarded. As the boat sailed away, the white-cloaked figure watched the boat leave from a roof and the figure looked to the sky. Looks like a storm's coming. And a storm did come. The ship was thrown left and right as the crew and team were running about the place. Get that rope tied down. If it goes, the sail will come out and we'll be fucked. The first mate yelled as crew dashed about. Naruto was busy down below tying down cargo with Genpaku. Ruhi was busy keeping the cannons still as Dogeki was sick in the toilet. Sakura was busy helping above. Damn it, one crew member yelled. We need to get that loose rope. Sakura glanced to it flailing in the wind. If that isn't tied down. Sakura summoned her staff. Fly. Sakura yelled, taking off. The crew member yelled through the winds. That's it. Get that tied down. Sakura growled as she tried to hold on. Lightning flashed and a pole was snapped by the wind. It dragged free by the rope and swung. Naruto stepped above as the lightning flashed. Sakura was so busy with her task she didn't hear or see it till it was too late. A loud yelp and Naruto glanced up. Sakura shot of his head and into the water. Sakura. Naruto yelled as he rushed to the edge. God damn it. Naruto yelled, jumping. Crew members shone light on the Black Sea as Naruto dived. Where are you? Naruto growled as he dived deeper. He glanced about and with no sight of her, he began to panic. Sakura. XX. Sun S. Hung overhead in the midst of the forest. Birds chirped and landed on branches as a lone figure rested by a lake. The small bird landed by the figure who murmured as she awoke. Sakura slowly pushed herself up as she coughed from having been knocked underwater. She glanced up at the forest. Where was she? Slowly she stood. She looked round and blinked. There was no sea behind her. Just a lake. Shish. Glanced down to her staff and picked it up. Naruto-kun. Sakura called as she glanced about. She was still trying to gather her bearings as she stumbled up to a tree. She rubbed the side of her head where she had been hit by something. She looked to the sky and drew her fly card. She glanced about and even had no sign of her small guardian Kiro-chan. Fly. Sakura yelled, taking to the sky. Slowly she flew above the tree line and looked on at the village before her. She looked left, then right and then behind her. Nothing but endless forest. How did she end up here from the ocean? Sakura turned to the village and flew to it. She would hopefully find out her answers there. She landed on the stone path before the large open gate. The symbol was instantly recognizable. The leaf symbol of Konoha. She was outside the hidden leaf village. She sealed her staff and walked into the village. She glanced to the guards on duty and walked up. Excuse me. The ninja glanced to Sakura. Welcome to Konoha. How may we help you? Sakura glanced about nervously. Is this Konoha? The ninja nods. Sakura muttered, rubbing the side of her head. What should she say? She knew no one but Naruto. Oh, and he was out in the middle of the ocean. Wait, I'm a friend of Naruto-kun's. Naruto Uzumaki. One of the ninjas asked. Sakura nods and the pair looked to each other. Where do you live, young lady? Sakura glanced down. Best not say she's from IWA right now. She glanced up to see them, expecting an answer. And what's your name? Sakura Kino. Sakura stopped before she said too much. She father was well known. It wouldn't be wise to say who her family was. Sakura. Kino. The ninja muttered, who had been listening muttered. Sakura glanced about to see a way out. She blinked and leaned over the counter. En Nani. Sakura muttered as the ninja glanced to the calendar. Sakura rubbed her eyes. That date couldn't be right. Is that correct? Sakura asked. The ninja glanced to it, then Sakura. Of course. It's the 7th of October 1997. Sakura looked back to the calendar. It couldn't be. It was early December 2000. It makes no sense. How could the date be different? But, if that's true, I'm in the past. Sakura mentally gasped. She noticed the ninja's attention on her. Something wrong, Sakura-san? The ninja asked. Sakura stepped back and began to mumble to herself. Pardon? The ninja asked. Sakura muttered. She was at a loss now. What seems to be wrong, young lady? Sakura quickly turned round to look at an elderly male in white and red robes. Hokage-sama. Both ninjas spoke. The elderly male smiled on at Sakura. Are you okay? The Hokage asked. Sakura shook her head. Naruto had always said that the Hokage was a nice old man and very caring. Are you lost? Sakura nodded slowly. The Hokage smiled as he knelt down to her height. Where are you parents? Sakura glanced down. Not here. Sakura muttered. That was two whole truths with both meanings. The Hokage took note of the girl's state. The bruise and the fact she was soaked. He could tell the ninja on guard had also noticed, but the girl seemed to be hard to speak up. The Hokage stood. Come with me, young lady. Maybe I can help. Sakura nods and began to follow. Mat Hokage-sama. One of the ninjas spoke. She mentioned she was friend of Naruto Uzumaki. Oh, I see. The Hokage said with a smile. I shall head to Naruto's. Maybe he can help. With that the pair walked off. What do I do? Naruto-kun doesn't know me. It's not for some time that he will. What do I do? What do I do? Sakura mused nervously. It's nice to know Naruto-kun has friends. But what is your name, young lady? Where are your parents and how did you come to be here? Sakura stayed quite a moment. Lying was all she could do. No doubt the Hokage would see through it anyway, but it was worth trying. My name is Sakura Kino. My parents died some time from the village. A Rouge ninja attacked. My Ka-san died first, too. Yu-san took me in before the ninja got close. Chu-san threw me in the water and ran off. I made it here, to see Naruto-kun. The way she speaks of Naruto. How long have you known Naruto-kun? And when did you two meet? Sakura glanced down. We only knew each other for a short time. I came here last year and spent the festival with Naruto-kun. The old man mused to himself. That was clearly a lie. Naruto had been with him so he could enjoy the festival for the first time. But the way she spoke Naruto's name was with affection, but not something formed over a day. She seemed more like Shish. He'd been with the blonde child longer. He sensed no danger from the girl. She wasn't some trained assassin or a ninja. He'd spent so much time round children that if one were to be a ninja he'd see right through it. No one but a child themselves can act like a true child should. So why was she lying? The Hokage glanced to the girl. Sakura had a look of confusion and worry. He said nothing more as they walked. Sakura glanced about the village. To see Naruto's home, she was awed by it. She wondered if Naruto missed this place every day, like she misses her home. The pair slowly walked a tall flight of stairs before stopping at a lone door. Sakura fidgeted nervously. What was she going to do now? The second Naruto met them, he wouldn't even know her. Naruto was only a few days from becoming 10. The door opened and the pair walked in. Sakura glanced about the small corridor. Naruto-kun, where are you? The elderly Hokage called out. Sakura stayed behind the elder. Oji-san. Sakura glanced up as she heard a slightly familiar voice. What you doing here? Sakura slowly glanced round the Hokage's side. There stood in white shirt and in black shorts was a blond boy similar to their first meeting. The Hokage smiled. I have someone here to meet you, come on out. Sakura stepped round the Hokage nervously. Hello Naruto-kun. Sakura muttered. Naruto looked at her then to the Hokage. Who's this Oji-san? The Hokage glanced to Sakura as she waited for the outcome. Her name's Sakura Kino. Sakura blinked and looked to the Hokage in surprise. She's been orphaned and is in need of a home. I thought I would bring her to you. She could do with a good friend, and I know you will be just that. Naruto looked to Sakura as she looked back to the blonde. Nice to meet you, Sakura. Name's Naruto Uzumaki. The next Hokage. Naruto roared as he held his hand out. Sakura smiled. Sakura Kino. The Hokage smiled as he turned to leave. Going Oji-san. Naruto asked as Sakura turned to the old man. The Hokage nods. Sorry Naruto, I don't have much more time now. But I will come by tonight to sort you two out. Enjoy the rest of the day and have fun you two. Naruto nods. Sakura smiled with a nod. Naruto had been right about the third. He really was a nice caring Hokage. XX. Okay. Naruto roared as he and Sakura stood at the base of the apartment building. Follow me, I'll show you all the best bits about Konoha. Naruto said with a grin. Sakura smiled at the young blonde's antics, it was so different. Naruto then leads Sakura through the village with favorite food first in line. Ichiraku's ramen bar. Oi, Oji-san, Naruto called sitting on a stool. Sakura followed as she looked around taking deep interest in all the bits about it. The elderly male glanced up from his cooking pot to the pair. Good to see you Naruto. And who's this young lady with you? Naruto grinned as Sakura smiled lightly. She's Sakura Kino, she's a… Naruto stopped for a second. She's just like me really, Naruto said surprisingly calmer. She's got no home or family. So she's staying with me. I've been put in charge of Sakura's care, Naruto said with a grin. Sakura looked at the blonde Shlee. Ghtly surprised by his sudden change when he mentioned about her past. That's a shame Sakura, but don't worry, like for Naruto here, we treat him like family. Naruto grinned embarrassed by that. But he still has to pay for his food. He may be treated as family, but he's a customer nonetheless. Arigato Oji-san. Naruto muttered with a grin as he cried about the fact he's still got to pay for his ramen. Anyway, Naruto spoke up, I'll have pork ramen. Sakura, Naruto asked glancing to the girl. I'll have seafood ramen please, if you can, Sakura muttered. That's a different request from normal. Let's see, Ayame-chan. The chef called out. Hi to-san. The young brunette called as she entered. Hi Naruto-kun. Oh, who's this? Ayame asked looking at Sakura. She grinned slightly as she looked at the pair. You get yourself a girlfriend. Naruto-kun. Naruto and Sakura both blushed at this comment. I'm Ne-chan. Sakura isn't my… Naruto sighed. We just only met today. She's got no place to stay and no one with her, she's staying with me now. That's so cute. I must say I like this Sakura, she looks better than the pink one. Naruto growled with a glare. Sakura looked to Naruto and looked to the counter. He liked Sakura Haruno before then, if she remembered correctly. Sorry Naruto-kun, but you know I've never liked how she's treated you. Only trying to be friendly, even if it's over the top. Relax and enjoy your ramen. Now, what was it to-san? Ayame asked as Naruto relaxed. As the pair got their ramen Naruto ate with a smile at his favorite food. Sakura ate slowly as she enjoyed the ramen. Naruto was right, his packed ramen was nothing to this. She glanced to Naruto before looking back to her food. How much did the Naruto of her time miss his home? She really felt bad for Naruto. Sakura glanced over to Naruto. You okay? You've been looking into your ramen. Sakura looked back to her food. She smiled back at Naruto. I'm fine. Arigato for the food. Sakura chirped to the chef. Don't worry, I'll let you two off today Naruto. But don't think I will next time. Naruto smiled thanking whatever kami was up there. That the ramen chef was such a kind-hearted person. Arigato. Come on Sakura, Naruto said pulling Sakura with her. Sakura quickly followed in tow and both ended up at the park. Sakura glanced about at the children playing. Come on, let me show you to some others. Naruto said walking across to the slid. Oi Kiba, Sakura looked as the young brown-haired lad with red paint fangs on his cheek looked up. What's up Naruto? Who's the girl? Naruto glanced to Sakura as they walked up. This is Sakura, she's new to the village. Kiba looked to Sakura as Sakura waved. Hey Sakura-san. Hope this baka hasn't been too much hassle, he's not brightest crayon in the box. Naruto glared before pointing at Kiba. Same to you, dog breathe. Anyway, I didn't come here for insults, I'm just introducing Sakura to people. Come on. Sakura glanced to Naruto and looked to Kiba. Nice to meet you, Sakura said following Naruto. So that's Kiba. Sakura followed Naruto to the swings. Oi Shikamaru, Choji. The pair sat on the swing glanced up. One was slightly round while the other seemed very bored. Naruto, what you been doing? The pineapple-haired one asked. Nothing much Shikamaru. Anyway, Shikamaru, Choji. This is Sakura, she's just come to the village. Choji waved as did Shikamaru. Nice to meet you, Sakura chirped, so these two had been one of Naruto's earliest friends. So, Naruto began. The day went by with the group playing in the park. Sakura enjoyed every moment of it. She'd never really got to be treated normally due to her family, but she never thought it would be so much fun being treated like a normal girl. As the day came to an end, Sakura watched as everyone left with their parents. Sakura looked down from where she sat on the sled to Naruto, who watched with slight frown. She slid down. Naruto-kun. Naruto glanced to Sakura. You have nice friends. Naruto glanced up, with no change. I don't know if I can call them friends, Sakura blinked. Naruto sat down on the floor. How come? Sakura asked. Naruto sighed. We may spend time and play games, but I don't think I can really be called a friend by them. I'm just Naruto, baka of the class. Sakura. Naruto asked, looking to the girl. What's it like with a family? Sakura glanced down. If I told you, Naruto-kun, I think it would hurt more knowing what you get. It's best not knowing. Gomen. Sakura muttered, looking away. Naruto smiled lightly. That's okay. I've always wondered is all. I guess you're right. Even though Oji-san at Ichiraku's treat me like family, it would be nice to have a mother take care of you when you hurt. And father to scold you. Sakura watched as Naruto rubbed his eyes. Gomen. Naruto grinned and stood. Come on, I want to show you the best part of the village before it's too late. Naruto said, taking Sakura's hand and pulling her along. As they left, Sakura glanced down at a young black-haired male on a dock to the lake. Who's that? Naruto glanced down and glared at the lad's back. That's Sasuke Uchiha. He's like you, but his family was killed in one night, and he's all moody and hardly says a word. Come on. Sakura followed Naruto before making on last glance, so that was the Uchiha. XX. Damn it, it's almost sundown, Naruto said, running up to the edge. Sakura stood amazed as Naruto sat down. Come on. Sakura glanced to the blonde and sat down, looking at the village in the evening glow. The sun began to vanish. It's amazing, Naruto-kun. Sakura spoke as she looked across the village. Naruto smiled. I come here every chance. It never gets boring just looking over Konoha. And I plan to become Hokage so I can protect this village. Naruto said, standing. Hokage. Sakura looked to Naruto. Really? Naruto nods, putting his fist to his chest. Of course. I plan to one day become Hokage, so that everyone here will finally respect me and treat me like I'm somebody important. I want not only myself, but others to always be able to look at the village. Sakura looked to Konoha. Then Naruto. Is that all? Naruto scratched his head. Ugh. Sakura stood and Naruto blinked. Sakura, you can't just become Hokage for those reasons. To become a Kage, you need to be not only the strongest ninja in the village, you need to be able the right choices, you must be able to give your life for everyone, Sakura stated. Naruto-kun. Sakura muttered. You have to know that just because you want them to respect you, that even if you became Hokage, no one will respect a lead just because he says it. You have to earn it. Only by showing others and proving yourself can you be treated with respect by your fellow villagers, your shinobi comrades. A selfish leader or a disliked leader will never prove anything. Sakura. Naruto muttered, surprised. A friend of mine. He knows this. He trains every day, and he helps people no matter what, even for nothing. He even shows mercy to those who he fights. He never thinks about himself but his friends and gives support and aid when possible. He had respect, but because of something he had no control over they banished him. I met him when he was traveling. I heard he still is, helping those and searching for something to help him protect the land he cherishes. Every day he does something if he can to help. I have no doubt he would have become Kage if he'd been allowed to stay. His fellow shinobi gave him a grand farewell. He had earned so much respect from them that it never mattered he wouldn't see his home again, possibly because he knew that he had done what he wanted. Whoa. That guy sounds awesome. Sakura smiled lightly. He is, and you could become him. Sakura glanced to the village. Naruto-kun, when's your birthday? Sakura asked. Oh October 10th, they have T's huge festival for the 4th Hokage who defeated the nine-tailed fox. It's going to be fun, but, Naruto glanced away sadly. Sakura glanced to Naruto. I know what I'm about to do. Sakura took a light breath. Could change everything, but for once Naruto deserves a birthday to be happy about. Sakura clenched her right fist. Sorry Naruto-kun, I read in a fantasy book that changing the past, moves the future. I don't know if that's true, if so. I'm sorry but I'm doing this for you. Naruto-kun. Naruto looked back to Sakura, she stayed eye contact. Do you want to go to the festival with me? Sakura asked lightly. I would really like it if you did. I don't want to be without you so I want to enjoy your birthday together. Naruto stared back surprised. If you don't want and have other plans. And no. I wouldn't mind that. It'd be nice. I don't really get to enjoy the festival much and only did last year because Hokage Oji-san took me for the day. Sakura blushed in embarrassment. Worst lie she had ever done. I'd really like that Sakura. It is the first time I would enjoy the festival with someone my age. Sakura smiled as she hugged the blonde. Naruto blinked. Sakura, Naruto-kun. I'm not someone. I'm you friend. I can see it in your eyes, Sakura said leaning back. Your hurt and pain of being alone. Your eyes are so different to his, but I can see through it even now. When you sad or scared, I'll be there for you. Like, you'll be there for me, right? Naruto nods slowly as Sakura hugged him again. I won't let you be alone anymore Naruto-kun. I'll always be there for you. Naruto's lip quivered as tears rolled down his cheeks. Arigato. Naruto muttered as he rested his head on her shoulder. Arigato Sakura-chan. Naruto muttered as he cried. Akira held onto the blonde as they sat down slowly. Sakura's own eyes watered up. She was going to do so much for Naruto like he had for her. Past or future, Naruto was still Naruto, only age and experience was the difference between them. It's okay Naruto-kun. Let it all out, Sakura muttered as the land was dipped into darkness. XX. Naruto snoozed lightly in his bed as the moon shone on him. Sakura was watching from the doorway before heading to the kitchen. She sat down and pulled out her cards. Wood, watery, windy, shadow and fly. This was all she had left in her staff of the world she was connected to. The trouble was the Clo book had copies, meaning she would have to obtain the Clo book and talk to Kiro. She sighed. What was she going to do? She had to aid Naruto. She couldn't sleep knowing what Naruto would face. Do I want to become a shinobi? If I did, I would be able to fight with Naruto-kun, but I don't want to fight. I had no choice, and do I now? Sakura looked to her right wrist. This was with her also and she had no idea yet of its power or use. Sakura sighed and looked at the cards. Single quote ellipsis dot single quote. Sakura stacked the 6 up. I will do what I must. I may not like it, but I will help Naruto-kun. I decided I will not see his sad anymore, if Naruto-kun wants to become Hokage. I'll help him get there. Sakura smiled sadly. I just hope I'm there beside him at the end. I came and the Hokage was at Naruto's apartment. He smiled lightly as he helped Sakura as he showed her the forms he'd done. Sakura-chan, Naruto-kun will be attending the academy again soon. After the week break, do you wish to join him? If so I can get you arranged in his class with an aide to help you catch up. Sakura blinked in surprise. Why are you being so nice to me Hokage-sama? Sakura asked. When Naruto greeted me this morning, he seemed so much better. I do believe you have done this to him. I watched you two yesterday and Naruto-kun has never been so open with anyone. You've done something I've not. And I know you'll be really good as Naruto's friend. I'm just helping you by setting everything up. Sakura glanced down. I don't care about why you lied Sakura-chan, you clearly have your reason and it's focused on Naruto-kun. I won't stop you from making that young lad happy. And I'll make sure he keeps you happy as you both stay under the same roof. Though I may have to make it bigger with the pair of you here. Sakura shook her head. I like it here Hokage-sama. I'm just glad you let me stay. The Hokage smiled before turning back to the paper. What you doing on the 10th? Sakura glanced to the elder. We're going to the festival. The Hokage looked to the girl. Sakura. He stopped and put his hand on the girl's shoulder. He could tell by looking in the girl's eyes. Just make sure he enjoys his birthday. I don't want him to be upset. Sakura nods. I won't. The Hokage stood rolling up the paper. I shall have someone bring clothing for you. Can't have you always walking round in the same clothing. Take care, Sakura-chan. Sakura nods. Bye, Hokage-sama, and arigato. The elder shut the door as he left. Sakura sighed as she rested on the table. Sakura-chan. Hey Sakura. Naruto called, entering the lounge. He looked to see Sakura resting on the table. What's wrong? Naruto asked as Sakura looked over. Nothing, Naruto-kun. Just tired from all that with Hokage-sama. Naruto grinned as he sat down facing her. I didn't think he would need me to go through all that. But at least now I'm actually a member of Konoha. I've been labeled as a mem. Under this roof now and will be getting clothing and things brought, Sakura muttered. Oji-san's really nice. He did this all for me when I was kicked out of the orphanage. Sakura looked at the blonde surprised. When did that happen? Naruto thought for a moment. About 5 years ago. Naruto finished before he saddened. Sakura clenched her fist. He never knew why everyone hates him or sees him like some sort of monster. She decided not to say. Naruto didn't need to know he contained a demon. Even though the demon's nice and not a bad person. Time to take him away from that subject. Good news also, Naruto-kun. I'll be joining the academy. We'll be in the same class. Naruto's broke into a grin. Really? Sakura nods. Naruto smiled lightly. Hey, Sakura-chan, Naruto muttered. What's wrong? Naruto sat back as he looked at her. Well, Naruto muttered as he looked down. Sakura waited as the blonde looked back at Sakura. When we start going, you will still hang out with me, right? You won't go off with other groups. Sakura blinked, her gave a light smile. Well, I will want to make friends, but I won't stop hanging out with you. I won't leave your side. Sakura said with a smile. Yeah, just that. Not everyone wants to hang out with me. I try to make friends but they won't, and some that will be my friend choose to go with the group. Kiba, Shikamaru and Choji. As well as some others are the only few that play with me, mostly with pranks, but other than that. Well then, Sakura began. I may have known you a short time, Naruto-kun. But I know there's nothing wrong with you. If they won't be your friends, then let them be short-sighted. It doesn't matter how many friends you have, it's how good those friends are. If someone wants to be my friend, they'll have to be yours also. I won't leave you on your own. Friends are always there for each other. If they can't accept you as my friend, they're not worth speaking to. Naruto frowned. You'd really do that for me? Sakura nods as she put a hand to her chest. I put my word on it. I won't leave the future Hokage alone. Naruto smiled. That's the first time someone said that. Sakura smiled with red cheeks. And it won't be the last. So, what's for lunch? Sakura asked. We could go to Ichiraku's again, Naruto muttered. Sakura quickly hopped down from her chair. Where you going, Sakura-chan? Sakura moved to the kitchen without a word and Naruto quickly followed. Sakura. Naruto watched as Sakura looked through the fridge and other cupboards in the kitchen. Today I'll make something nice, Sakura said looking out the window. She smiled back at the blonde. How about a picnic? Naruto blinked. XX. Whoa. Naruto gasped as he looked at the food set on the blanket Sakura had dragged out from the cupboard. You made all this from all that? Naruto asked as he looked at the different food. Who would have thought? Yep. Sadly we can't make ramen. That's okay. This all looks so good. Itadakimasu, Naruto said as he took a sandwich. Sakura smiled as she pulled out some juice. Arigato, Sakura-chan. Sakura continued to smile red-faced as she enjoyed as well. Both were enjoying themselves. Naruto was enjoying this since he never did this before and he found it fun sitting by the lake eating sandwiches. He looked about at others enjoying themselves. Before he wouldn't even be here with so many people. But with Sakura it didn't matter. She was being so nice to him even though he only met her yesterday. Sakura was enjoying this also, with her 2-san and Ani-chan busy. She never really got to do this. She got to spend time with friends, but it didn't help when you were being guarded the second you left your home, and it didn't help your friends either. The peaceful surroundings, the sound of the ducks and birds about them, but most of all the company of Naruto, even though every time she saddened about the blonde in the future, she looked at the blonde before her and felt happy either way. The Naruto her protector and hero in the future. The Naruto here that can just be her friend, no weird magic cult or dangerous tasks. Just normal children. Oi, this is our spot. The pair was broke from the peace and glanced up to a group of older children. All girls, all of which didn't have an all too happy face. Ho, Sakura muttered surprised. You heard me, one girl said thumbing her chest. This patch is ours, so get lost. Sakura and Naruto looked to each other. But there's plenty of room. Why this spot? Sakura asked nervously. Does it matter? This spot is ours, so take your stuff and go. The girl said, kicking the small basket over. Oi, Naruto said, standing with a glare. What's the problem? I saw you all over there somewhere when we arrived, and now you saying this is your spot. Then you come here telling us to leave and kick Sakura-chan's basket over. If you had asked nicely we would have moved. So just go away and leave us alone. Oh wow, it's the blonde boy. My dad said if you doing anything to us to let him know. A girl in the back spoke. If you don't want my dad to come and sort you out, you better go. Naruto clenched his fist. Naruto-kun, Sakura spoke, as she put her stuff away. It's okay. We'll go eat on the other side. Naruto looked to her. I don't want to cause them trouble. Come on, Sakura said, rolling the blanket up. Then, you best get some good distance from the lake. This whole area is ours. Naruto scowled. No problem. Come on, Naruto-kun. Let's go find a quiet place. Sakura said, walking off. Naruto followed. The GIRL smirked, glancing to her friends who nodded. The pair hadn't got too far before a splash of mud hit Sakura in the head. Sakura, Naruto said as he caught Sakura from falling forward. The girls laughed. Little girl going to cry now. The girl roared. Sakura spoke to Naruto calmly. Naruto, hold this, Sakura said, passing the basket and blanket. Sakura walked very calmly over to the girl. The girl looked to the girl. What's the matter, little girl? Sakura looked up with a glare. A loud smack echoed as Naruto's jaw hung. The girls were stunned speechless as their leader hit the floor. Sakura's fist shaking. Sakura looked to her fist and brought it down. Naruto had told her never to react in anger, yet. Think you're funny, huh? The girl said, standing as she rubbed her cheek. I'll say you have a good hook. Not many have that in the academy. But now I teach you for hitting me. Sakura stepped back nervously. But unlike a fist, the girl said as she grabbed onto Sakura's arm. The girl held her right palm out. Sakura readied herself to block when the girl was hit by a brown mass. Mud. The girl screeched. Sakura-chan. Naruto called as Sakura turned to him. Come here, Sakura quickly ran over as the girls helped their leader. We have no choice now. Sakura nods. With that they grabbed their stuff. Run like hell. With that they sprinted off. Daddy. The pair ran even faster at that and left the park. The pair collapsed in a corner alley exhausted. I won't be going there for a while, Naruto gasped as he sat against the wall. He glanced to his friend. You okay? Sakura nods slowly. Yeah. Sakura muttered, looking back at her hand. I shouldn't have done that. Why not? If it was a guy who did that to me I would have done the same. But what's more impressive is that you hit her so fast and hard, Naruto exclaimed. She's in the final year and you knocked her down like she was paper. You've got to show me how to move like that. Did that person you mentioned teach you? Sakura nods. That and his companions. I feel really bad now. I should have just walked off. Naruto shook his head. If you don't stand up for yourself, they'll continue to do it again. You may have just gone off the handle, but that happens, Sakura. I know I've done it. Hell, I've even seen some of the girls in my class go at it when it comes to Sasuke. Don't think so bad of yourself. It's not like you're going to bully people. I guess, Sakura muttered. Anyway, that hit was amazing. As I said, you hit her so fast and so hard she didn't even react. You've got to teach me Sakura-chan. Naruto scratched his head lightly. I'm not much of a fighter and it's more random. What did he teach you that you could teach me? Sakura glanced to the blonde. None sadly, he never taught me a style. It's just basic watching and following movements. I wear weights to improve my form when it comes to speed. I learned how to fight older people as well. It was for protection. Okay. Naruto spoke as he stood. Then could you teach me like he taught you? I hope you don't mind. Sakura shook her head. No, it's fine, Sakura said with a smile. To teach Naruto-kun, that would be weird. She picked up the basket and both walked back out into the street, slightly weary of anyone looking for them. As they walked by a small area, Naruto stopped. Sakura glanced to the blonde as he looked round the corner. Sakura crouched down and looked round. What's wrong, Naruto-kun? Sakura asked. Naruto glanced down. See the pink-haired girl? Sakura looked to the short pink-haired girl. Yeah, Sakura muttered back. That's Sakura-chan. You know, the one Ayame-ne-chan spoke of. Sakura frowned. This was the girl Naruto had his affections for. Come on, I greet you to her, Naruto said, walking out. Sakura sighed sadly and followed. She had to find a way to get his attention off this Sakura and onto her. Hey Sakura-chan, Naruto yelled as the pink-haired Sakura flinched and glared at the blonde. The others she was speaking to looked at the blonde. Sakura Haruno stood from her seat. Naruto baka. What you want? I told you no. And Sakura glanced to the brown-haired girl. Who's this? Naruto grinned. This is Sakura Kino. She's been in the village only a short time. Sakura Haruno nods her head to Sakura Kino and she nodded back. Nice to meet you, Sakura Kino. I'm Sakura Haruno. It's funny meeting someone with the same name. Sakura Kino nods. Sakura Haruno glanced to Naruto. What's she doing with you anyway? She'll only get in trouble being just round you. Sakura Kino frowned. She didn't like Sakura one bit right now. Come on, Sakura-san, Sakura said, taking Sakura's hand. I'll introduce you to my friends. Naruto followed and Sakura Haruno looked at the blonde. What you doing? Well, I'm Sakura's friend. I've been showing her round the village as I was asked by Oji-san. Sakura Haruno looked at the blonde questioningly. Well, don't worry, Naruto. I'll show Sakura around now. I bet you didn't even show her the best places at all. Only your food place most likely. Sakura Kino growled mentally. Sakura Haruno looked to Sakura. Don't worry. Naruto's not the best person to be around. He's annoying and immature. Come on, we'll take care of you. Sakura Kino pulled her hand free. Actually, Sakura spoke annoyed. I'll stay with Naruto-kun. He's not as bad as you make him seem. But clearly you can't see that. Sakura Haruno blinked, surprised. Why, you're actually saying he isn't? You really don't know him that well. How long you been in Konoha? Since the 7th. Then let me tell you that this guy is the worst person to know. He's loud and annoying. He's always breaking rules and pulling pranks. He's as thick as a plank of wood and he doesn't understand when I say I don't want to go out with him. I mean it. Sakura spoke. You hang out with him, you'll only get dragged down with him. Though, I'm jealous of one thing. Naruto looked confused from his sad state. Sakura Kino held her tongue. This was going better than if she had written it. With the pair's unknown relationship in her hand, she wanted Naruto to lose interest in the Haruno girl fast. Even if it upset Naruto. Jealous of what? Naruto asked. He didn't think he had anything Sakura would want. Well, it's obvious, you baka. You don't have parents. Sakura Kino stepped forward. Enough now. Sakura Haruno. Don't continue. Sakura Haruno looked to her. Well, you can understand, right? No parents to scold you and send you to bed. No being told off and having all kinds of freedom. I'd love that. Well then, let me tell you this. Sakura Kino muttered. Tell me, what would it be like if one day, you mother, father, vanished? No one there to comfort you when you're sad or hurt. No one there to greet you when you come home. To smile and hug you when you've done good. You speak of the bad things. If Naruto-kun had the chance, he would love to have that, to be scolded and taught right from wrong. You know nothing of what Naruto-kun feels, so shut up. Sakura stated as she gripped Naruto's hand, unaware of it. Sakura Haruno stared stunned as Sakura pulled the blonde away. Come on Naruto-kun. And Sakura Kino glanced back. I too have no family, having lost them just that same day I met Naruto. I promised I would not have said what it was like, but you've made it not optional. Enjoy what you have. Be thankful for it, Sakura stated as they walked off. Sakura Haruno merely blinked before frowning at what she said. XX. Naruto-kun. I don't like that girl. Sakura muttered as she and Naruto lay on a hill looking at the clouds. How can you like her? Naruto glanced to Sakura. Why do you like her? Sakura-chan. Well, she's smart, she's beautiful. But she treats you so badly, Sakura interrupted. Why her? Naruto blinked before glancing back to the sky. I don't know, I really can't remember now. It was 2 years ago and something ended like that. I guess I just wanted someone to like me like that. Sakura-chan was treated different by the girls, and I think because she was treated like that I may make friends with her. Then she met Ino and I sort of lost my chance to make that bond. Sakura frowned. So you keep asking her, in hopes of making that strong friendship, oh Naruto-kun. Sakura looked at the blonde sadly. Please stop doing it to yourself. It will only make you feel worse. I feel worse now. I would give anything to have what she has, Naruto muttered. Can't you find someone else? Someone who will treat you like you're someone? Naruto glanced to Sakura. Like who? Sakura glanced to Naruto. She looked to the sky red-cheeked. Like me. Naruto looked to the sky red-cheeked. Sakura wanted to say more. She didn't want him to answer without her reason. It's not because I was jealous, Sakura spoke up. I really like you Naruto-kun. I really didn't want to see you with someone like her. But if she had been nice to you, I wouldn't have said anything. I would be happy if you was happy, even if wasn't with me. Naruto blinked as he looked at the girl surprised. I know we've only met and known each other 2 days. Sakura put her hands on her chest as he felt the key. She mentally shook her head. But it feels like I've known you even longer. Sakura sat up. I don't care what you feel for me now, even if nothing but a friend. But I just want you to know that I will always be there as your friend. I said I would never leave your side and I meant it. I will be there as you become a ninja, when you become Jonin-sensei and when you become Hokage. I have no doubt in you. You'll do it Naruto-kun and I will help you. Naruto merely looked to the sky. Sakura-chan. Naruto muttered sitting up. Ever since we meet, I've not felt the same. I'm normally loud and everything else, but just meeting you and I've never been this calm and quiet, when you've spoken to me. You've made me feel better, like on the first day. Today, you've stood up for me, as I have stood up for you. I guess it's more because you're the first girl to treat me like I'm someone important. Sakura smiled lightly. You are important Naruto-kun. You're very important to me. I don't want to lose you as a friend. Naruto smiled. Same her Sakura-chan. Sakura smiled back before both looked to the orange sky. Want to get some ramen Sakura-chan? Naruto asked as he stood. Sakura stood. Of course, but we can't have it all the time now Naruto-kun. Sakura spoke up as they walked. If you want to get stronger, I'm going to give you proper food. I'll teach you and you'll teach me. I won't let you be the bottom anymore. When we pass you'll be the best of your class. Naruto grinned. Arigato. I've got some board games. At home I played with Oji-san from time to time. Want to play? Sakura nods. Of course. Sakura glanced down to Naruto's hand. She glanced away idly as she reached over. Naruto glanced down as Sakura grasped the blonde's hand. Naruto glanced to Sakura as she glanced to the blonde. Naruto smiled and clasped hers. He didn't know why, but he too felt like he'd known her more. The pair left into the village and Sakura began to get nervous. After tomorrow it was Naruto's birthday. She knew there was no turning back. She had changed too much to do so now. She would make sure Naruto smiled on his birthday. XX. Ohayou gozaimasu Hokage-sama. Sakura chirped, poking her head into the Hokage's office. She had asked Naruto to show her there. Naruto was downstairs waiting as Sakura wanted to speak alone. Ohayou Sakura-chan. What brings you here this morning? The third asked with a smile. Sakura smiled lightly. I want to thank you first for getting a room set up for me in Naruto's apartment Hokage-sama, and the clothes are nice too. Sakura said as she glanced to the white long-sleeve shirt and black trousers. It was a bit chilly out. She wore full covering black sandals as well with white socks. Quote, "Well, I can't have you wearing the same clothing 3 days running. Plus, they really didn't suit you." Sakura scratched the back of her head. Naruto had designed that outfit the first time he met her with some help. Guess not being all about battle, yeah, it wasn't suited to her. "But what brings you here?" Sakura scratched her right cheek. "Well, seeing as Naruto-kun's birthday is on the 10th, I was kind of hoping you could help me. I was thinking of getting something, but I wondered if you can help." The Hokage smiled sadly. "Sadly, I cannot help. I'm glad though that you're wanting to." Sakura frowned slightly. What was she to do? The Hokage noticed her change in aura. He rubbed his chin. "He's got it. Sakura, bring Naruto-kun up here." Sakura nodded slowly and left. The Hokage then went about making some arrangements. As the pair entered, they found a large brown-haired male there. Both glanced to each other. He never passed them to the office. The Hokage smiled. "Naruto-kun, this is my son Asuma. I've asked him today to show you and teach you ninjutsu, but he will decide what he will teach you. If any, feel free to treat him as you treat me." Asuma walked up with a smile. "Nice to meet you, Naruto," Asuma said, standing before the pair. "Nice to meet you, Ji-san," Naruto said. Asuma looked to his father with a glare at being treated in such a manner. The Hokage was not even looking at him as he whistled and twiddled his thumbs like he did nothing to give him the nickname. Asuma sighed and showed the blonde out as he pulled out his small packet. "What's that?" Naruto asked as their voices faded away. "Something to relax me," Asuma replied calmly. "Can I have one?" Naruto asked curiously. "No," was the reply before they couldn't be heard. Sakura looked from the door to the Hokage confused. This was to keep Naruto busy for the day. "I've asked Asuma to give Naruto a little advancement that will keep him occupied. So while he's having fun, I've got someone to go with you to get everything ready. You can come in now." The door opened and Sakura looked to a ninja of Chunin rank with brown hair and a noticeable scar on his nose. "This is Iruka, Sakura." "Iruka, this is Sakura Kino. She will be attending your lessons at the when classes being again." Iruka nods before smiling to Sakura. "Nice to meet you, Sakura-san." Sakura nods with a smile. "Nice to meet you too, Iruka-sensei." Iruka smiled before looking back to the Hokage. "What is it you require of me, Hokage-sama?" Iruka asked. The Hokage pulled out a scroll and began to write down on it. "This is a small request. Since I cannot help Sakura-chan here, could you gather what is needed for her? If she asks for anything, pass this to note to the shop owner and I'll deal with it." The Hokage said as he finished writing down on the scroll. "This is a note of all the locations you will need, Sakura." The Hokage said, "Put one scroll down. And this is the slip to show to the owners, Iruka." The Hokage said, passing the paper to Iruka. "What is it all for, Hokage-sama?" Iruka asked as Sakura smiled. "It's for Naruto-kun. We're gathering things for his birthday. Tomorrow." Iruka blinked before looking back to the Hokage. "I'm being sent on an errand for a child's birthday. Naruto's birthday." The Hokage looked at Iruka sternly. "Iruka-kun, this is of young Sakura's request. Though you have reasons, do it to make a child happy on at least one day of the year. Remember, you were much like Naruto. And you still were able to enjoy that day. Sakura won't ask much of you. Just aid her as she needs." Iruka nods slowly with a frown. "Hi, Hokage-sama." With that the pair left. The day went by steadily as the pair went from shop to shop getting decorations and other pieces. Making trips back to Naruto's apartment to hide it in Sakura's room till nighttime. As it reached late afternoon, Iruka and Sakura were sitting by a fountain enjoy ice cream. "Sakura-san," Iruka spoke. Sakura glanced to the Chunin. "Why are you doing this for Naruto? You don't even know him that much and you're going so far for him. Why are you so set to do this?" Sakura glanced to Iruka. "I care for Naruto-kun," Sakura stated before looking to the floor. "Naruto-kun is treated so poorly. In the time I've known Naruto-kun, he's shown me just how nice he is. And shown me just how sad he is. Can I ask you something, Iruka-sensei?" Iruka nods. "You had friends growing up. Iruka nods. Naruto-kun doesn't have anyone Iruka-sensei. He's got the Hokage for an Oji-san and the ramen chef and his daughter treat him like family. But, he's got no friends. I want to give Naruto the attention he never got. He cried when I said I would always be by his side and remain his friend. You think it's nice to know that someone my age has no friends and those he plays with can't fully become his friends. How do you think you'd be without friends? Iruka sighed looking forward. I can't say my reasons, it's like many of this village. Sakura-san. Iruka rubbed the side of his head. He was talking to a girl half his age about something like this. He should have kept his mouth shut. Naruto's got reasons as to why we keep him at a distance. Iruka-san, how would you have felt if you didn't have your birthday, or the day you never got the day to enjoy because you couldn't leave your home? Sakura muttered. You don't see a 10-year-old, do you, Iruka-sensei? You see something different. Well, it's wrong and cruel to treat him like that because of a difference. She also talks as if she knows about the fox. He never let that fact leave his mind. She could very well know. I do this for one reason. To make sure Naruto-kun is happy. Sakura said, standing. And I will do all I can to make sure on the one day he can enjoy it. I will make sure he never forgets it. Now, let's continue where we left off in the shops. Sakura said with a smile. Iruka blinked at the girl's sudden change. As the day came to an end, Sakura waved Iruka away as the male left with something to think about. She heard a yell and glanced back to see Naruto walking up with Asuma. Naruto looked like he'd been rolling in the dirt. Naruto-kun, what happened? Naruto grinned, scratching the back of his head. Asuma-sensei was showing me some really cool things. I even got to find out something cool also. Naruto chirped. Well, I'm off. I'll let the old man know you're home. Later, Gaki. With that, Asuma vanished in smoke. Naruto yawned. I'm tired. Sakura smiled. How about dinner? Then maybe early to bed. Naruto rubbed the back of his head. Sure. You making something, Sakura-chan? Sakura nods. Of course. XX. The morning came and Naruto snoozed lightly in his bed. Naruto-kun. Sakura spoke bedside, he blonde. Naruto rolled over. Naruto-kun, get up. Naruto grumbled about more sleep. Sakura took a deep breath. Naruto. Naruto vanished from his bed and banged onto the floor so fast that the covers never hit the bed till after the bang. Ouch. Sakura-chan, what was that for? Sakura sighed at the blonde. She walked over and grabbed his hand. Where we going? Sakura glanced to the blonde with a smile. The pair walked in, to the opening of the lounge, and Naruto's face lit up. Slowly he glanced left and right at all the decorations. Sakura stood back with a smile. Naruto turned to Sakura, stunned. Why you did this? Sakura nods with a smile. Hokage-sama, let me get everything I spent. Sakura yawned and stretched. Most of the night setting it all up. I hope you like it. Naruto-kun. Naruto grinned wide as tears formed at the sides of his eyes. Now, how about presents? Naruto looked even more surprised as Sakura pointed back to the sofa and Naruto turned at the small amount of boxes. Hokage-sama was very kind to let me buy a few. Naruto jumped onto the sofa. Come on, Sakura-chan. Sakura smiled lightly with a blush as she walked up. I can't believe you did all this. Sugoi. Naruto yelled as Sakura just smiled. She'd never seen Naruto so happy, even when she traveled with him. Oh wow, Naruto said as he looked black band with pouches. What are they? Sakura giggled. They're weights. I asked the Chunin with me to get them. If you want to learn to fight, you need to train the body and mind. Naruto nods slowly and puts the box down. He opened the long white one. Whoa, a katana. Sakura shook her head. It's not a real one. It's weighted blunt weapon. It's for training. Naruto blinked and looked back. Either way, it's cool. This will show Sasuke up when I learn how to fight with a weapon like that. What's next, Sakura-chan? Sakura hopped down and pulled out a long box from under the sofa. It was very thin. I got you some new clothing, Naruto-kun. Naruto took the box and put it aside. Naruto-kun, I don't want that damaged. I'll get it out tonight when we go to the festival. Sakura blinked and then blushed at Naruto's words. Okay, let's have breakfast then. Sakura chirped with a smile and both went to the kitchen. As they ate, Naruto had a smile on his face as he picked at the bacon on the plate. Sakura had done so much than anyone besides the Hokage, he almost felt it was too good. Yet she sat right in front of him. She'd gone out of her way to do so many kind things. What else could she do? So, Naruto began. What's today's plans? You got any other surprises? Sakura looked to Naruto. Well, I didn't have time to think of activities. But I did get something you'll enjoy. Naruto looked excited. What is it? Naruto asked. Sakura tapped her nose. That's for me to know, and you to find out. Naruto pouted. Sakura giggled at the blonde's face. You'll like it, Naruto-kun, don't worry. Naruto nodded slowly. The pair finished and they left into the village. They looked about as they walked. Shops, houses and the street itself were being decorated for the festival. They reached a small open area just off from the Hokage building where the bonfire was being made. Stalls were filling the street with all kinds of events. How are you two this morning? Both turned to the Hokage. And happy birthday, Naruto-kun. Arigato, Oji-san. You wouldn't believe what you've let Sakura-chan do for me this morning. It's been the best birthday so far. Sakura smiled as did the Hokage. The Hokage looked at the pair. You two got clothes for tonight. Naruto nods. Sakura-chan got me something. But, Naruto said looking to Sakura. I haven't got anything for today. It's mostly casual, Hokage-sama. Sakura replied. The Hokage smiled. I'll get something sorted for you, Sakura-chan. Go and enjoy yourself, you two. I'll see you tonight hopefully. Naruto nods. Come on, Sakura-chan. Naruto said, taking Sakura's hand and running off. The Hokage smiled as the pair ran off. Wherever Sakura had come from, she has been the best thing for the blonde. He's never been so bright and smiling a lot. The third looked to the fourth Hokage's head with a smile. XX. Why are we up here, Sakura-chan? Naruto asked as he and Sakura walked up the stairs of the Hokage monument. Sakura glanced to Naruto with a smile. You'll see, we're almost there. Sakura said as they reached the top. Naruto glanced past Sakura and saw the picnic blanket with food out. A small white box to the side. Sakura looked at Naruto's surprised look and faced the blonde. Well, with our last one ruined, hot, we could do it again from your favorite spot. I even got ramen ready for you. Naruto looked to her with more surprise. Sakura dragged the dumbfounded blonde over and the pair sat down. Naruto looked at the small basket, the box. Where's the ramen? Sakura waved to the forest and Naruto looked to see Ayame walk out. Nei-chan. Naruto spoke surprised. Ayame smiled at the blonde. Happy birthday. Naruto-kun. Ayame said, putting the small cartons down. Free ramen for you too. Enjoy yourselves, okay? Ayame said, ruffling Naruto's hair and walking off. Sakura opened the cartons up as Naruto watched Ayame leave and put ramen down. Here we go, Naruto-kun. Sakura said as Naruto turned round. Naruto smiled before picking up the ramen bowl and enjoying the food. Sakura glanced to the blonde as he ate with his eyes closed and quietly reached for the white box and opened the lid. Naruto gasped with a smile as he finished his ramen. He saw a flicker of light and blinked as he looked at the flames. Small flames on candles on a cake. Naruto looked to Sakura, who smiled back. What's a birthday without cake? Naruto nodded slowly. Okay, now, make a wish and blow out the candles. Sakura said, smiling. Sakura-chan. Sakura blinked as Naruto looked at her. I'm sure you're supposed to sing. Sakura jumped before scratching her head with a blush. I'm not good with singing that song. Naruto looked on with a look that asked to do it. Please, Sakura-chan, Naruto asked. Sakura looked at the blonde and nods. Okay. Sakura took a moment to calm herself. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Naruto-kun. Happy birthday to you. Sakura sang with her eyes closed so she didn't see Naruto wipe the tears from his eyes. As she stopped, she looked at Naruto, who sat smiling. You sing really well, Sakura-chan. Sakura blushed. It's only a short verse, Sakura muttered as Naruto blew out the candles. Now then, let's eat it. Naruto nods as Sakura got to work. XX. Slowly the sun began to set as Sakura sat in the lounge waiting for Naruto nervously. A female chunin by the name Kurenai had come over and helped Sakura with outfits. Sakura sat in a formal, pink kimono with blue flower patterns at the base. She was wondering if Naruto liked the choice of clothing she got him. Naruto stepped into the doorway and Sakura looked over. "Well, Naruto-kun, do you like it?" Sakura asked. Naruto was dressed in black trousers with white vest, a black long-sleeve shirt on which was zipped up to the chin, a pair of white gloves and black sandals. Naruto tugged at the shirt as he moved his arm. "It's great, Sakura-chan," Naruto said with a grin as Sakura smiled back and hopped down and walked over. "Shall we get going, Sakura-chan?" Naruto asked. Sakura nods and the pair leave into the streets. Fireworks light up the sky as civilians and visitors enjoyed the festive day. The day the Kyuubi was defeated by the fourth Hokage. Sakura and Naruto enjoyed each one of the stalls. From trying to catch fish on small paper plates, to hitting targets to win a stuffed toy, which Naruto succeeded in attempting. Sakura took the small yellow cat plush. Though as they walked she couldn't help but miss everyone still, Hiro as well, which was why she got the small plush. The pair stopped by a stall and grabbed a mask where Sakura left with a white mask of a lion with red line between ears and eyes like fangs, and Naruto grabbed the unique one, there being a skull mask. As the night went on, Sakura began to notice something wrong, like someone was watching them. Naruto seemed unaware as he ate his dango. Naruto noticed Sakura's slight change. "What's wrong?" Naruto asked. Sakura jumped at the fact Naruto had noticed before glancing to him. Nothing, Naruto-ku. Come on," Sakura said, pulling the blonde to another stall. Sakura relaxed as she felt the presence vanish for now. As the evening moved on, Naruto glanced to Sakura as they stood by the large bonfire. "Shall we go home now? It's been the best day ever and I'm really tired." Sakura nods with a smile. "Of course," and the pair left from the lit streets into the street lamp paths back to Naruto's home. The pair walked in silence. Naruto seemed to have something on his mind. "Sakura-chan," Naruto spoke up as the pair stopped. Sakura looked to the blonde. "Hi, Naruto-kun." Sakura watched as Naruto seemed nervous as she scratched his head and looked away. "Well, do you?" Naruto stopped as they heard a noise and they looked to see several figures walk out of the shadows. "What do we have here?" One male spoke from the small group. "Just the boy we want to see." Sakura's nose twitched as she could smell the drink from here. "Me? Why?" Naruto asked as Sakura nervously reached for her key. Both flinched at the loud smash as the glass bottle shattered and the drunk held the broken bottle. Naruto-kun," Sakura muttered as Naruto nods as he grasped her hand. "Run!" Both yelled as they turned and ran for it. Sakura tucked her toy into her clothing as they ran. The sounds of yelling made them run faster. "What we going to do?" Naruto asked. He looked to Sakura. "Sakura-chan, you go home. I'll hide out and meet you there." Sakura looked to the blonde. "No, I won't let you get hurt." Sakura reached for her key. "I'll get us out of here," Sakura said as they ran. The seal glowed round as it followed. "The key which hides powers of the dark. Show your true form before me. I, Sakura, command you under our contract." Release. Sakura's key formed into the staff and she grasped tight. "What was that?" Naruto asked. Sakura looked to Naruto. She reached into her pouch. "My ability. Where's a dead end?" Naruto pointed ahead. "Go down it," Sakura said, holding wood. As they turned the corner. "Become the steps of our escape," Sakura said, throwing wood forward. "Wood," Sakura yelled as she hit the card. Wood burst from the ground and the pair ran up the wooden poles and jumped into the air as wood vanished. Naruto glanced back and laughed at their escape. "Fly," Sakura yelled, summoning a pair of wings. Naruto watched in awe as he grabbed tight and flew through the sky before. They landed on the roof of Naruto's apartment building. Naruto looked on as Sakura sealed her staff. "That was amazing, Sakura-chan. Can you teach me that?" Sakura shook her head. "Sorry, Naruto-kun. It's my ability alone. I'm just glad we got away safely." Naruto nodded slowly. Naruto looked to the moon then back to Sakura. "Sakura-chan." Naruto spoke up. Sakura looked at the blonde as she waited for what he would say next. Naruto scratched the side of his head nervously. "I've had so much fun these last few days. I've never enjoyed so much. Thank you, Sakura, for doing this for me." Sakura blushed. "I did it for you, Naruto-kun. I care for you. Naruto blushed as he scratched his stomach. Sakura-chan. Naruto questioned his next decision. He took a breath. He'd ask her. Would you like to go out with me? At that moment, everything round Sakura turned to gray. Sakura blinked and looked round her as she found nothing moving. What's going on? Naruto-kun. Sakura spoke as she looked at the frozen blonde. This is my doing. Sakura turned to see a figure standing at the end of the building roof. Clad in white cloak and hood. Who are you? What's going on? The white-clad figure didn't move or make any gestures. I have many names you could describe me as, to this world. I'm Kami. He's kidding, right? Was Sakura's thought. If you're Kami, then, why are you here? The white-clad figure sighed. Your time is up. It is time to go back to your time. Sakura stepped back. I don't want to go back. If I did, Sakura looked to Naruto. Naruto-kun will be all alone. The white-clad figure sighed once more. Trouble is, you will leave even if you don't. Time will not continue here for much longer as they are beginning to overlap. This world is about to be erased from existence. Why? Sakura asked. The white-clad figure held up his right hand and an orb of white formed. There is another name and others like myself are named. We are called authors, story writers. Sakura looked on confused. See this here, this is the original timeline of Naruto Uzumaki. He held up his left and another orb formed blue in color. This is mine, and these, instantly thousands of orbs appeared. Are the other dimensions created by us authors? The clad figure said as Sakura looked around. When a glitch in the timeline is opened by an author, a new dimension is made. They must complete the timeline in order for the world to become stable and go on without the author. So, what am I then? Sakura asked. You are but a small entity of the universe, you don't even belong in this world. I formed this universe at almost this exact moment when Naruto was in near death. From there, I formed the past, the present and the future. I brought life from other dimensions into this world and molded it into this one orb. Then, why am I in the past? Why did you bring me back? Sakura asked. Not everything can go easy enough. Naruto had suffered in order to become who he was. I sent you back in order to right my wrong. But I couldn't simply do it. I had to make contact with you. Sakura blinked in surprise. The person she had stumbled into was me. The figure said, you have to go back now, Sakura Kinomoto, your timeline is waiting. But, why can't I stay here? Naruto-kun, he's happy here this time round. The clad figure sighed. I know, that was the reason you came here in the first place. Sadly, I'm not strong enough to form a new dimension from this. You have to stay in your timeline, in order for it to become complete. Then why send me, if you're going to make this hard for me? Don't get me wrong, I'd love to let this go on. But making one child smile on his birthday was the reason you had to come back. At the very moment he asked you out. Time had reached his death point almost. Moments from now, time will crumble, Naruto will never remember what happened and time will return to your proper moment. So, that's it then. Can I ask you something? The white-clad figure nods. What's going to happen to me in the future? What's my fate if it's in your hands? The white figure shuffled his form. If I gave away my story as a writer before it's made, where would the point in making the story be? Sorry Sakura, but I can't tell you. Sakura frowned. Sakura, I will give you an extended moment, make this farewell a happy one. Don't let him know, just do as you wish. Sakura blinked before turning to face the blonde. I shall rewind to the moment he asked you. Any time after this can only last moments. So make use of it. I shall be waiting. In a flash everything was back to color. Naruto was scratching his head nervously. I've had so much fun these last few days. I've never enjoyed so much. Thank you Sakura for doing his for me. Sakura blushed. I did it for you Naruto-kun. I care for you. Naruto blushed as he scratched his stomach. Sakura-chan. Naruto questioned his next decision. He took a breath. He'd ask her. Would you like to go out with me? Sakura smiled at the blonde as she took his hands into hers. Of course. Sakura mentally gulped and kissed the blonde lightly on the cheek. I'll go out with you. Naruto smiled wide. Really? Arigato Sakura-chan. Come on. Let's get inside. Naruto said with a grin. Sakura smiled, but held her ground. She decided she didn't want that to be her goodbye. She wanted one to remember. She tugged the blonde back to face her as she leaned in. But before she could press her lips to his, Naruto's form disintegrated into dust as everything turned to darkness. Sakura stared in shock as tears streamed down her face. So close, sorry, but time had reached breaking point. Sakura turned to the white-clad figure as her clothing returned to its original state before she came here. Slowly it began to rain in the darkness. Time is returning to the origin of this story. Sakura heard footsteps and turned round in the dark alley and gasped. As she looked at the blonde child laying flat on his back in the rain. A figure crouched over him with an umbrella in hand. With that it vanished. Sakura rubbed her eyes as a hand rested on her shoulder. Do not cry. Remember that everything has a ripple and mind formed the way of the shinobi world and Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki has a great life ahead. And so do you and your friends. Do not feel sad. Everyone will be smiling when the story reaches its end. Sakura looked down. Now, it's time to go. Sakura looked to the figure. How do I go back then? The figure looked up. Sakura looked up. The cloaked figure drew his right leg back. Gomen. The leg swung and turned into a wooden beam from the ship and struck Sakura, who hit the water in a blast of speed. Sakura. Naruto yelled as he rushed to the water's edge and jumped in after her. Naruto-kun. Help, Sakura's called out in her state as bubbles left her mouth. A hand latched onto her arm and Naruto tucked Sakura close and swam to the surface. Naruto gasped as Sakura rested in her arms. Naruto's hand glowed and he slid his hand up Sakura's front and up to her jaw where water spilled from her mouth before she broke into a fit of coughs. You okay, Sakura? Naruto called as Sakura took a breath and looked to Naruto, who bobbed in the water. Sakura smiled as she laid her head on his chest. I am now. Naruto smiled before floating out the water and landing on the deck. XX. The sun sat high in the sky as Sakura sat in her bed as Haruhi had said she would need to rest, having been hit in the back of the head. The door to her cabin opened as Naruto walked in with food. How you feeling, Sakura? Naruto asked as he set the food down. Sakura smiled. I'm fine, Naruto-kun. Sakura said as she rubbed her head. Naruto rested his hand on the bandages. You took quite a hit. Sakura continued to smile. I'm fine. How is Haruhi treating you and Genpaku-san on the top? She's still making you clean. Naruto nods with a sigh. She's likes to be in control, anyway. You best rest and enjoy the food, Naruto said, walking up to the window. Man, you could hardly tell there was a storm last night. Sakura glanced down as Kiro slept on the sheets. Naruto-kun. Sakura spoke as both looked to each other. If you had the chance, would you go back in time to change the day you were attacked on your birthday? Naruto blinked. He smiled, looking back outside. There is no point in changing the past. It's what molds us. If I could, I wouldn't change it because then I would never have met Goku-san. Genpaku, Haruhi, the monks and people round me. I wouldn't change it even more so, Naruto said, looking back to Sakura. Because then I would never have met you. Sakura blinked in surprise and blushed before looking to the bed. Arigato, Naruto-kun, Sakura muttered. I'm glad. Naruto smiled, looking forward while scratching his head. He was sure Sakura had forgotten about his birthday event. He smiled. She did listen to everything he told her. But why didn't she mention this year? He mentally shrugged. Guess she forgot with their traveling. Naruto-kun. Naruto glanced to Sakura. Next time we reached land, could we have a picnic? Just you and me. Naruto looked out to the sea. Sure. Why not? Naruto. Where the hell are you? Naruto and Sakura looked to the ceiling. I better get going. Later. Naruto said, running off. Sakura smiled and looked to her soup. She blinked as she saw a white-clad figure shish in her soup and vanished in the ripples. Sakura smiled as she lay down to rest. It's true what they saw. Why? Time really is a living, breathing thing. The ones who control it decided every moment in time and what will happen. With every word we write, a moment in that dimension echoes out across its cosmos and becomes reality. It's our nature, our skill and our power. Only the best will make the world complete, so that when time comes, the world will flow without the author's aid, and what will happen is up to them. But until that day, the pages folded over and the book shut with the picture of a blonde teen and brown-haired girl before being blown away like dust. The white-clad figure smiled and glanced up. We will continue to look out for it. With a howl of wind he vanished into dust. My best ending ever. That was really good and even thought I'm mentally tired and sick with the flu. I felt quiet emotional. And I'm a guy so that's a big hit to me. Anyway, I hope you and everyone has enjoyed this. Remember, we are authors who create a new reality. Don't let it go to waste like was always do. I plan to make sure I can complete each and every story I do. That is the way of the author. My author way.